Howdy, friends. Welcome back to Legend of the Five Rings World Championship here at FFG headquarters. I'm Chris Potterf, joined by Anil, also known as Mine's Desire online. How you doing today? How's the voice holding up?
It's good. I mean, we got to win that bet, right?
Yeah.
Look, we need to prove the naysayers wrong and let them know that we can handle talking forever.
I mean, you have shown an ability to handle talking for forever, in my opinion.
What's the phrase? I do like to flap my gums.
It's not so much that you talk a lot; it's just that you're so loud. I think you, if there's any reason why you would lose your voice, it's the projection of your voice.
Look, I have never gotten a public speaking teacher to tell me that I don't project enough.
Riding in an Uber with you is absolutely hilarious.
Am I just like so
You're
loud?
just so loud.
Yeah, that's tough.
So yesterday, we had Ace Case or
Andrew Case.
Andrew
is
Case.
his actual name.
Yep.
Well-known player online. I believe he is a Minnesota local.
Sure. He was playing with Crane with Lion Splash, and he was King of Swiss yesterday, and so we wanted to give him a shout out.
Only undefeated player, so huge shout out to him. Undefeated in a looks like chat saying there's having some audio and video sync issues.
Sure, and we're gonna have a little bit of hiccups here in the beginning before the rounds start.
Work that out before the round starts, so
Absolutely.
that we can bring you six awesome rounds of L5R on 1B. 1B has 120 players, is what last time I checked on Lowe's Pavilion.
Yep.
Have a large Crane representation again on day 1B. We are, going to do our best to maybe not bring Crane every round, but at the same note, we're not going to try and
misrepresent what the meta,
right?
Yeah.
Look, if Crane is winning, they're going to make it on stream, so it is what it is. Sorry, chat. But we have a high representation of Crane, Unicorn, Phoenix, and Scorpion. Dragon and Crab are both really low representation, and Lion's kind of in the middle.
I mean, but wouldn't you say that Phoenix is very heavily underrepresented for their current power level?
I would say so. I personally think Phoenix is in the top 3 of clan power levels with Scorpion and Crane.
Sure.
And I think the level of representation for Phoenix at this whole winter court is criminally underrepresented.
I was going to use the word criminally,
yeah,
too.
It's definitely a crime. A crime against the Maho. That's actually that's the band name, right? Instead of Rage Against the Machine, Crime Against Maho.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So we do have a Unicorn matchup that we're going to start out with. There's a interesting contingent of the Unicorn players who have opted out of playing Keeper of Earth in favor of just having a 3-strength upholding authority. Like that is
that the only reason?
It's not the only reason, but that is 100% the strongest reason. They just like it to break easier.
Look, I have played against and with Unfulfilled Duty.
Yeah.
And that card's really good.
I mean, I personally think that it is insane in the current configuration of Unicorn, right?
Yeah.
It's just another big event that your opponents have to worry about trying to cancel or otherwise get around.
It's just those big swingy events that Unicorn has where you just don't know what to cancel. It basically you're just trying to do as much mental damage to your opponent, and then eventually they'll lose.
Right, and so that is one of the nice things that I think that UD or Unfulfilled Duty or it's Unfulfilled Duty, right?
Yeah.
I think that's just one of the pieces that's really important for that card. It's just another big swingy event, and you just overload your opponent's ability to deal with all of them.
Yeah, for sure. That's has been Unicorn's game plan since they've become competitive. Is between Captive Audience, Charge, Cavalry Reserves. It used to be Unleash the Djinn.
Sure.
And now instead of Unleash the Djinn, Unicorn the contingent has decided they didn't want to play a better card, so they decided to play for Unfulfilled Duty.
I mean,
and this contingent has decided they don't want to play either of those cards.
That's true.
So
I think that maybe some of those are just revolting against the Earth pick itself because they really wanted air. So there could be a little bit of spite involved in the Keeper of Water choice as well, which I think is funny. Yeah. Anything fun on chat so far?
Yeah, Alistair CH is asking if there's a lot of foreign players. I mean, obviously a lot is very relative, but there is definitely a well-representation of players, not native to the USA. We have a lot of players from Canada. We have a lot of players from Spain and UK, and then we have some we have Lenath over from Hungary. We have some Greek players.
There's some Polish players too.
Yep. Yako's Polish. So yeah, I mean we have definitely a global representation of this game. No Australians this year.
Unfortunate.
If you're in chat, Bert, we love you.
Yep.
And Simkov.
Of course. And Merlin and Remedy and you know,
all the Australians, we miss you.
All of our Aussie friends that are dead. But yeah, as we were discussing yesterday, this community has I wouldn't say a rabid fan base, but a fan base that cares about the game and travels well internationally. And we even had some Americans go across to large Grand Cotes earlier this year, right?
Yeah, it was myself and Dennis went over to go play at Paris, which was awesome.
Sure. Very cool.
Yeah, that was a cool tournament.
Was it just you and Dennis?
Yeah, that for U.S. players that went over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
We unfortunately have poorer travel than the European players.
It's because we're lazy Americans.
Well, it's just like I learned from Sandy that you need to be in like a city that has like a good hub, and then you can get these like really insane international flights.
Oh, sure.
But like he lives next to JFK.
Right. I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah, exactly.
So it takes me $15,000 to fly anywhere.
It just costs me so much money to fly. But like if you live in like a huge hub, you can do all these traveling things.
Sure. So right now the players are doing the initial meetup and still pairing. We're checking to see if we've got round 1 pairings up yet. Also very interesting, we didn't get any on stream yesterday, but there are a few more of this type of player today, and that's Lion Honor Rocket. There's a new deck that's come out because of what is that festival's card for Crane?
Festival of Fortunes.
Yeah.
It is the 3-cost event that has action, honor each character. It's just that's literally what
honor every character.
Every character in play becomes honored.
Yeah. So this Lion deck is just filled to the brim with cheap characters and staging ground. A lot of 0 cost, a lot of 1 cost characters. It just floods the board with cheap guys and then honors them and tries to honor out as fast as possible. And after looking at it, I would say the power level of the deck is probably on par with like Mirimoto's Daishio. It's like a deck where if you understand what you're playing against, you definitely have a better shot. If you don't know what you're playing against, you will get got and you'll die. Unfortunate. But the deck itself still has an opportunity to beat you even when you know what it's doing, like Mirimoto's Daishio. I just think that the game is a little bit faster with this deck, so it's not as miserable to play against as Mirimoto's Daishio.
So we do have our first round. Pairings have gone up.
Very
we
cool.
are going to be seeing Christian versus Michael McCormick, I believe, who's a crab player.
Oh, very cool.
So no cranes.
Hey, we're doing it.
And we got 2. I don't believe we had a crab at all on stream yesterday.
I think you're correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty awesome to start the day off with crab.
Absolutely.
Crab has been a little bit down in the dumps. But there were some crabs that made the cut yesterday. Max Williams, Steven Didion.
Steven Didion went 5-1 yesterday with crab, and he played against 3 scorpions.
Yeah.
And that matchup, in my opinion, is almost unwinnable from Crab's end. So for him to be able to beat 2 out of his 3 scorpion matchups yesterday
is a huge boost for
it's actually quite impressive. So congrats to him, and congrats to all the other crabs that made it. Like you said, Max.
Max Williams, and then also, we had some dragons make it yesterday. Hunter Edwards, Chaley made it.
Yep.
So, these underpowered in quotation marks factions that maybe aren't doing as well as some of the more popular factions, like your cranes and your scorpions.
I mean, they are not tier 1, but it is still possible to win your games.
Exactly. And that is what you want to see in a game. You're never going to see every single faction at that tier 1 status. So having every faction be able to make the cut in a tough field is indicative of at least they have some things they can do.
Yeah, of course. The floor of the power level of what each faction is capable of right now is much higher than it was a couple of years ago, where Unicorn was just so obviously the worst ever in the entire world. Like, that level of bad just will not exist for clans, in my opinion, for this game, at least until some more insane cards come out. Who knows? But as of right now, it looks like the meta is stable, and I'm really happy about the distribution of decks that I've seen so far.
Nice. Yeah. Speaking of international players, both of our players are indeed not U.S. natives. We have Christian, who's from Sweden.
Sure.
And Michael McCormick, I believe, is from Scotland.
Okay.
So just getting the players seated here. Yep. Both players have Christian does live in the U.S. now.
Yes.
But he is indeed Swedish. And so Unicorn versus Crab. So as the the resident Unicorn player on our desk here, what are you looking for? How does this matchup play out? Like, what do you want? How do you want this game to go?
I'm not exactly sure what Christian's splash is.
Okay, sure.
To be
So
honest.
that changes a lot, obviously.
You know, depending on whatever your splash is, you have some kind of evasion tool, right?
Okay.
If you're in Dragon Splash, I'm definitely keeping Let Goes. Otherwise, I'm just searching for my evasion type pieces like Strength in Numbers or Pacifism. Pacifism against Crab is pretty insane right now.
Would you obviously if he's playing pacifism, I think he's heavily favored.
Yes.
I don't. There are a few crabs who have got tired of their Casadas putting their swords away and have decided to play Dragon Splash.
Yeah, and just crabs with 3 Let Go.
Just let goes, 3 mystics, 3 Let Goes, and some Wanderers and Ancient Masters.
Yeah.
Now, if you are playing Dragon Splash, are you keeping Tattooed Wanderer in your opener? With the intent to covert.
That's really tough for me because I really don't like attaching Tattooed Wanderer as covert early because I usually don't have guys with Fate early, especially against Crab.
Yeah.
You're just not looking to do that. What is interesting, I still will keep the conflict character just because you want conflict characters against Way of the Crab.
Sure.
Like, 1-drops are important. So having a conflict character, should you have a really awkward flop where it's like Tetsuko and nothing else small, you still are in a place where maybe you can protect that.
Like,
that
you're your
large
first
base.
player, right, and they need to draw the Way of the Crab, you can in draw step play your...
Exactly.
You know, for those listening, there is an action window in a lot of these steps that I think is underutilized. A lot of people don't say they don't use the draw step. Like, the draw step action window is really important for things like, your opponent might not have the card, but after they've drawn 5 cards, they could easily have it, and you need to use that window, especially as first player, leverage that action window.
Absolutely.
Against things like Way of the Crab, Cloud the Mind.
Yeah, so Cloud the Mind is one of the most important cards for when you're playing in the draw step, right? Because like Master of Gishitoshi is something you want to cloud in the draw step. Maya Mystic is something that you cloud
you have to cloud in the draw step
stick,
because, or if you're first player in pre-conflict, I usually just don't leave that to chance. You can forget. I usually use cards like Agasha Swordsmith in draw step. You basically want to go into the turn, like the whole turn, with as much information as possible.
Absolutely.
And I think that's definitely just these small things that you can do to give yourself an advantage.
It's kind of like how we saw Eric, the Shogun, play yesterday, right? It's about accumulating small advantages that eventually turn into a mountain.
Yeah, right. Like you're basically trying to, you're trying to chop down the tree, and then you're just leaning on it until it falls over.
Yeah.
Is really how a lot of these grindier decks play. That's not really how Unicorn plays. Unicorn takes a chainsaw and hopes it doesn't run out of gas halfway through the tree, right?
100%. We don't even know how to spell incremental advantage.
And then Crab, and then Crab is the opposite, where they're taking like a hand hatchet, or sorry, they're taking a kitchen knife trying to chop down the tree, right? And just like.
So we do see that Crab, very interestingly, is on Seeker of Void, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the Seeker of Void.
So Seeker of Void is actually what Stephen Didion ran yesterday.
Yeah, that's what Jared right, Mosey is playing also.
So it was really funny, too, because he's like, I've done nothing but play Keeper for the last 2 years, so I'm missing my fate triggers, my Seeker fate triggers.
So I personally have almost exclusively played Seeker my entire Alpha career, so I don't miss Seeker as much, but I sometimes miss out, I don't miss Keeper Fate. I actually just sometimes miss getting my Keepers, because I'm just not used to getting them.
Sure.
So sometimes I just have to keep looking through the graveyard and oh yeah, these guys are here. I gotta, when we were testing the Echoes deck.
Sure.
The first couple times I was testing it in paper, I just liked forgetting to get my Keepers.
Right. It's like when you claim your ring on Jigoku and then it's still sitting there waiting for you to trigger something. It's like, what's going on? Oh wait, I need to click on my discard pile.
Yeah.
Oh, these guys.
I remember one time where I was just like, I don't know what's happening. The game must be bugged. Dumb.
Must be bugged.
Must be bugged. And so we have, I believe that's Evan standing. Okay. So just getting the players situated. So Crab starts at 10 honor, and Unicorn starts at 11.
Yeah.
That is really nice that HMT did get that honor bump.
Yes.
Especially with all the cards that they have that cost them honor.
Of course, yeah. HMT being at 11 is a huge boon. And then as we're talking about mulligans, right, something that you always want copies of is charge, right?
Yes, both players. So the Seekerless generally are playing charge as their restricted card.
Sure. So two players
I wouldn't be surprised if it's rebuilt, but I do expect to see both players on charge.
Yeah. Since, Crab has been trying to discover a new identity with having some troubles with the restricted list, I have been seeing a lot more charge, just as they're trying to take advantage of other lines of play that they really haven't needed to access for the last year and a half.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that the Crab deck has lost a lot of its the power and its kind of do nothing playstyle until like you lose. So you really do need to be more proactive, and Charge is a very proactive card.
Absolutely.
And it is incredibly busted, so you can get these really insane starts, right?
Like Casada,
like you just charge Casada turn one, you Vanguard Warrior, and then you flip a dupe into a reprieve. Like when you charge like you're a five drop. Like I've seen Casada and neutral Tuturi.
Oh yes, I've seen neutral Tuturi and Crab as well.
And they're both really great charge targets. They're both become huge. And like you just charge neutral Tuturi.
Okay, so as they're shuffling, I just saw a Clarity of Purpose in the Crab deck.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm very certain that's what I saw.
This is going to be Phoenix Splash.
But we do see a charge. So top card in the crab player's hand is a charge.
So I know what Listy's playing. He is playing Phoenix Splash for Against the Waves, Conflict Asawa Tadaka. And then I guess a Clarity of Purpose. So that means he's playing a Clarity of Purpose, 3 Against the Waves, and 2 Tadakas. 4, 7, yeah, that's 10.
Okay.
So that'll be his entire splash.
So for opening flops, we see Chagatai, we see Trailblazer. Trailblazer is a really cool 2-drop that Unicorn got in their Unicorn pack, where it becomes it gives itself +2/+2 whenever you reveal a province. So
we have an encampment also.
And we do have an encampment also. So and Christian doesn't have to worry about Defend Your Honor in this matchup because his opponent is on Seeker. So if Christian finds a charge here, mixed with that encampment and the fact that his 2-drop is going to be 4 strength coming in on his first conflict, this is going to be a very hard first turn for Michael to make it through unscathed. Ooh, J Tetsubo.
Yeah, so I usually these lists play 2 J Tetsubos.
I like it.
It's just one of those things like you can get them on a charge and like
if they want to
it's just such a high value attachment.
Yeah,
it's not really great here, and I do like I did see a fight katana. I'm really glad that Michael has not decided not to completely forego these cheaper stat efficient attachments.
Yeah, Fantanas are just where it's at.
Yeah, like J Tetsubo has a great ability, but you still want the cost efficiency of a 0-cost attachment.
Sure.
I think that's one thing I've learned the most in the draft format from what I played. I played the 1 pod yesterday. The value of just cheap Fantanas is just like so high. It's just like, oh man, you never know you miss it until you don't have it, right?
Right. So there is a there's a Cavalry Reserves in Christian's hand. I don't think I saw a charge, but I did see 2 Tattooed Wanderers. So he does have some.
Okay, so this is not knowing your opponent and being afraid. He's afraid of Endless Plains.
Oh sure.
For those who don't know, there's a Unicorn-only province called Endless Plains. It doesn't see a lot of play, but it has reaction when it's attacked. Your opponent, or you may destroy the province to have your opponent discard an attacking character. And if you only have 1 attacking character, then that character will die.
Yeah. So,
oh, he did it! And he did it! Oh my god, I've never seen a more gigantic brain play in my entire life. In my entire life, I am... Yes, and chat going crazy, Merhold saying edge case, but that's how you do it.
Yeah.
So like at Worlds, you're sitting here and you're playing, how can I lose this game?
Sure.
Turn 1, run my giant dude into Endless Plains, lose the game.
Yeah. So I really like the fact that Christian, as second player, decided to put a Fate on his character. I often like to just 1 Fate low drops, even though I'm not actually planning on keeping them around. I want to bait a Void Ring out of my opponent, so then I can go in, so the Earth Ring is still left open when I'm second player.
Sure. And then water also.
Absolutely. Yeah, and this also helps you not get watered as well.
Would you Cavalry Reserves just Chags on turn 1?
I would have a really hard time doing that. Okay. Just from a resource standpoint,
I will pass.
That would be so hard for me to do.
so we do see Hantai Satori. I didn't notice that before in Michael's row.
Sure.
That is a different addition. Obviously a great charge target.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's another kind of big body. Satori has shown an ability to be quite huge and impactful.
Oh wow, this is going to be huge. If indeed Michael has that charge, like you pointed out, being able to charge Satori on a shameful display, that guy just is 10 military by himself.
And it's happening right now.
Charge.
Yep.
Okay.
So Crab right now, having all the early game answers.
Play Ambusher to turn it off.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay. That's a really good ambusher there.
Triggering its reaction.
And he does still have 2 more conflict characters in his hand. With this kind of Fate expenditure, I think it's very unlikely that we will see Cavalry.
Oh, it's Purity of Spirit.
Right now, I'm not keeping track of it. Purity of Spirit.
Wow. So,
Sure.
even as unconventional
So now
Phoenix
you're at
Splashes go,
8.
this is kind of interesting. I did not expect to see.
Maybe he's not playing Conflict Tadaka because you tend to run more Shigenjas than that for the disguise mechanic.
Sure.
Maybe he's just playing Purities against. I don't know what his splashes then. Maybe it's just Purities and Clarities.
I mean, that's still probably pretty good. I mean, it does seem like, sorry, what is that honor card called again? The Phoenix one?
Purity Spirit.
Purity of Spirit, there we go. It only works on Bushi, right?
Correct,
So
yep.
I do have to assume that means we'll see very few
Cavalry
Shugenja
Reserves.
in
Oh,
this
and
dynasty
we do
because
see
of
the
that.
Cavalry Reserves on only Chags.
Wow, that's
So basically, the lack of the card Fight On
sure.
is one of the reasons you can do something like this and maybe get your triple break.
So, I mean, Christian is definitely going for the high roll here.
Yeah,
right?
he's going for that
like,
triple break turn one.
It's kind of throwing caution to the wind, and if it works, he will break a shit ton of provinces this turn. So we'll kind of see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Purity of Spirit is actually pretty good in Scorpion matchups. It's like a pretty good splash card.
Sure.
Because it can remove status tokens.
Right. Yeah, and I mean that could be a card that actually improves your Scorpion matchup percentage. So that's an interesting thought. I really did not believe that I would see a uniform deck amongst crabs, and that's definitely what's kind of on display here. All crabs are kind of taking their own kind of little unique approach to the meta.
For sure. So this is a huge expenditure of resources coming in from Michael. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to defend this. And if he plays all these cards on I didn't see a save in his hand.
Nice.
I didn't see another reprieve. So if you put all these attachments on your Satori and your Satori leaves, you are so far behind.
Yeah, but Christian didn't break, so now.
Oh, Christian didn't have any more pumps.
Yeah, and I thought that's why this is very risky play because crabs do run a bunch of military pump as well, right?
So let's see, his guy was 10, 12 with the Bonsai 16, and then 10, 14, 15, 16. Crab box for 17.
Yeah.
Yep. Turns out crab box for +1.
So Crabbox is actually very good at draft.
Right.
It's just
because it's just stats, right?
Yeah.
Same with, I'm sure, Mountain Zavil Castle. Also.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's I think that's the most exciting thing from Alpha World. I think everybody has just been enamored by this format, and a lot of players are just. It's kind of revitalized like the joy you felt like initially, like where you're discovering things again.
Yeah.
And it's a really fun experience. So anyone listening, I definitely advise get some players. All you need to know is how to play the game, and then you can draft.
Yes, I'm going to keep my stage.
I will.
So Chad is saying things like high roll or lose or unicorn can't get behind. I think that's really not the right mentality. I have had turns where you just start slow, but you build up a lot of gas in your hand, and then you just have enough afterwards to. You still have to be smart about it, right?
Yeah. So my big. Not that I. So if he was able to break there, it would have been an insane turn for Christian, right?
Sure.
Another way to approach that same situation is to keep that gas in your hand and also bank fate for a little bit, go into maybe second or third turn, and then just have multiple large events that you can do in one turn to really hammer it home, right? And with what Crab was presenting there, especially with the Satori, once the Satori got charged, I would have stopped playing cards into that conflict.
Absolutely.
It's just, the Ambusher is cool, don't get me wrong, but then nothing happened after it, And so once that Satori gets charged, I'm just pass. I just don't. I've stopped caring about this.
So Christian buys Mia Mystic with 4 2 Fate, then passes. We have Michael buy the core combo of Caillou Envoy and Steadfast Witch Hunter.
Sure.
Literally the the 1-2 punch from core. So going to be able to ready probably the Shuichi for multiple conflicts. That when the Envoy dies, he'll get a Fate and a card back.
Sure. So buying the Mystic here, you may be wondering, I think that he's just hedging against more reprieves. He wants to make sure that the characters who are supposed to lead play this turn do lead play this turn.
You see double wave the crab and a reprieve. I would wave the crab this Mystic.
Yes.
I would just draw step wave the crab this Mystic. It forces your opponent to have a conflict character. It gets rid of the attachment removal. And it doesn't cost you any resources because your Caillou Envoy replaces your card and your Fate.
Yes.
No actions in draw phase.
And also, as far as purchases are going, the reason why Christian only bought the
I think that's what
Mystic-
we're going to see.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The reason why Christian only bought the Mystic is he's probably banking on drawing a charge at some
Yeah.
point in time, so he's leaving his big buddies back. And
He
he
does a
does.
censure. We just saw his crab draw a censure.
Face.
So that's going to be really big this turn, especially since he secured the favor on turn
conflict?
1.
Yeah.
Play tattoo.
So this is, you're kind of seeing, I guess, Crab is getting things to go their way, and you're kind of seeing the lock starting to close in. So Christian really does
you
need
pass
to build up some kind of advantages
He-
in cards or resources.
Right.
You don't necessarily need to worry about breaks as much, right? Like Crab's not going to break a bunch of your provinces every turn.
No, they're just going to
Okay.
probably rumble on in and take their one per turn,
Per
you
turn,
know,
yeah.
and then still be
Yep.
able to defend so they don't lose to, you know, just
Defend the wall.
the way
Yep.
that Unicorn can kill you.
Absolutely. Is that defend the wall? I believe that is defend the wall.
Sure.
It is defend the wall.
Okay.
It's
Shuichi?
not my favorite province to poke.
Yeah. So
Fine,
is defend.
right.
Okay. So we were speaking yesterday about vassal fields.
Sure.
You were talking about Earth provinces that are not upholding authority. Where does defend the wall rank on your? I'm glad to see it, or I'm glad it's not upholding authority.
I do not go yes
Okay.
when I see defend your honor or
Defend the wall.
defend the wall, right?
Okay. So it passes the bar of Earth provinces.
It does, you know, like
Okay.
it is something that is a
pass.
huge disadvantage when you hit it with a poke and then they defend and they get this activation. Now, luckily,
Oh,
he's
sorry, yeah.
attacking in on water, so there's not really a whole lot of collateral damage that's going to come out from losing this. And so, you know, because of that, yes, I would. If I were the Crab player, I would still just be running Upholding Authority because it wins you the game.
Sure.
Speaking of Upholding Authority, I'm basically 100% sure that Upholding Authority is underneath the encampment. I think that that's probably one of the big reasons why he kept the encampment.
Oh, like bait.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like he wants that province attacked.
So we see
conflict,
Michael Block with his giant
pass.
Shuichi. He uses the Shuichi's ability to gain a fate
so-
via the encampment. So maybe that's a reason you're not supposed to keep the encampment. You've seen charge. Your opponent doesn't have rebuild. Sure. You could potentially turn
That's
off
on
your
him,
opponent's
Yeah, political if-
economy.
Sure.
If you don't keep this
Yep.
holding.
With
Obviously,
this
it
guy.
is a powerful holding.
Right.
And then we see Mountain
It
Does
is,
Not Fall, which is a
pilgrimage.
very powerful card against Unicorn.
Okay.
And we actually see Shuichi rumble in on political,
To the Chagatai province.
which is, I think, Pilgrimage?
Yeah.
Or-
So, again, as we were talking about yesterday, the Void provinces of choice for Unicorn are either Appealing the Fortunes, which has a charge-like effect of bringing characters into play, which I tend to favor because of the game plan, or there's Pilgrimage, which is really nice because it's not something you have to defend to get value out of it, right?
What do you think the opinion,
nine.
or not? What do you think? For the viewers at home, explain to me, like I'm attacking your Chagatai province. If this was appealing to the fortunes, explain to me how that works.
Sure. So when the province is broken, there's an interrupt to the province breaking, right? So where you get to choose a character either in your hand or in your provinces and then put it into play. So a charge-like effect. The nice thing about this is since it's an interrupt, it happens before the province is broken, so you don't have the opportunity. You can put the character into play from the province that's being broken
Yeah.
before it would otherwise be discarded.
Which is, that's like a huge deal, right?
Yeah.
Like if it didn't work that way, it probably would be pretty bad. But like the ability to put in the character that's being attacked is a huge deal.
Yeah, you know, and I do understand the benefits of playing Pilgrimage, and I definitely don't think it's a wrong decision. It's just if he were playing Appealing, he would get a benefit of having Chags in play right now.
So we see a Defend Your Honor get discarded. He doesn't discard this Chagatai.
So
Pre-conflicts.
I personally would. Maybe they skip past it. I like discarding face-up characters against Unicorn because the way I look at it is I want to make you pay 3 fate instead of 1.
yes, so generally speaking, sometimes you don't discard the card because you don't want to fuel their cavalry reserves, but if it's already face up, it's fine. It's when you're attacking face down provinces that you don't just want to randomly give them more characters in their den.
Absolutely.
All right.
And so we're going to sacrifice this skirmisher. So he just put the skirmisher in and then sacrificed it. I think what I would have done is I would have
You
played the
have
skirmisher for a
military
poke,
left, right?
Yes.
then used it, and then done this. Then stood afterwards. But he has Mountain Shuichi, so he's fine.
Sure.
We do see Sapun Ishikawa making an appearance on the cool Imperial favor. So I
Okay.
believe that's the military
Pass
side.
pre-call.
Yeah.
And I think Satoshi is the political side.
Nothing else for me.
Rest in peace, sweet prince.
I will pass my turn. Actually, no. You
All
might-
right, so he doing a little bit of deliberation.
It makes no
I think
sense.
Christian was going to pass his
Good
conflict,
cover.
and then he decided that he just wanted to fade.
Yeah.
I'll
I'd
take
rather not
this.
be that guy on stream. Like a fire here. Okay.
So we see political
Hits Manicure
hits
Garden.
Manicure
Yep.
Garden. Okay. So we can just use Garden. Garden is actually really good for crab.
Yep.
A lot of crab's cards don't do a lot and cost money, so it's really tough. You need a lot of money and a lot of cards, especially without like spyglass and stuff.
Sure. And you know, I've just always ran Manicure Garden.
Right?
You know?
I love Manicure Garden.
it always gives me money.
Manicure Garden is that just stable, you know, steady 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
You show up, gives you money.
It's not exciting.
Yeah,
you know,
not exciting. It just you show up to work and it gives you money.
Yeah. Okay. Split of fire. Mountain does not fall. Still active.
Yep.
So just from what we've seen, this is, you know, we talk about Crab having a more sort of passive or do-nothing playstyle. I would say this build is probably a little bit more proactive.
It's definitely
than
more
that.
proactive.
Yeah.
The seeker builds are a lot more proactive than the Keeper Crab builds, and I think that is one of the reasons that they are having a little bit of success in this meta.
Sure.
You know, they're having triple away of the crab. You know,
Triple away of the crab is very good against
2
Phoenix.
3 way of the crab right now is
And
just
Crane.
really good in the meta. It's not good against Scorpion.
Yep.
Why not?
Yeah.
But it's really good against Crane. It can get Phoenix players,
Dragons.
dragons,
Yeah.
like, you know, and then Charge. Charge is such a powerful card, as we see, you know, from, you know, one person has played a Charge and one person has not.
Right. Well, and charging on defense as Crab is very good.
Powerful, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely, and we see this is, I believe, Khan's order.
First
It's purple.
action.
Oh, it wasn't upholding authority. I was wrong.
Your stronghold.
Oh, it's Border
Province.
Fortress, actually.
Okay, and that's permanently revealed. Joe.
Yes,
Yeah.
permanently.
Yeah, I would assume that Cons is probably on
All right.
box.
Any action?
I think it's Smuggler's Cove on the Crab Stronghold.
No.
I'll pass.
Or Midnight Rebels. It's one of those two.
Unopposed?
Yeah, so for those of you wondering, Border Fortress is a unicorn province
Hey, yes,
that
yes,
while
yes,
it's
go ahead.
while there's a battle
just
taking
get
place
it.
at this
That's right,
conflict,
just
you
to-
can
at the
use it
province,
to
yep.
reveal another province in play. So the unicorn player used this to reveal the Crab's stronghold province.
Sometimes the Crabs run Rally to the Cause, and so you can kind of waste that reaction.
I'll
Exactly.
pass recon.
As it turns out, Border
Yeah,
Fortress,
just check, there's nothing to do
we don't really see it that much because it takes over your air slot and it doesn't give you money.
Yes, it's not the 9 to 5
Not the
job.
9 to 5.
Yeah.
Fine there.
It looks like, okay, so chat's saying Rebels. Yeah, so it's Midnight Rebels. I actually really like Smuggler's Cove in Crab. I think one of your big ways that you lose stronghold breaks is just covert.
Sure.
Covert and send homes. And I think the ability to maybe over defend or under defend and like get some movement is actually pretty cool. Also, Midnight Rebels I think is just like counterintuitive in Crab. You just always have like a giant play.
Yeah. So right now, the unicorn player is in a little bit of trouble. They've had 3 breaks so far,
Yep.
and Crab is already on their stronghold. And this Suichi has unfortunately managed to stick around for the last 2 turns.
Well, he did buy it with 2 Fade. So
Of course. Well, it just did. You know,
Hasn't been voided.
He hasn't
Yeah,
been voided.
exactly.
You know.
And so we're probably gonna mulligan this Mystic, or he might keep it against Talisman, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you want a talisman answer. If you're on box, and you want to try and kill them.
Siege Captain.
Fine.
Oh, he flips Siege Captain. Double
No.
Vanguard
So
order.
Steven Didion was telling me yesterday he's running all 3 of that.
It's great to charge.
Yeah. So he's running Lion Splash with
Is he playing
prepare for
forward?
yeah.
So the Lion
I will
Splash
give
is
us
another.
each 2
Instead
honor.
of playing Dragon Splash, people are playing Lion Splash, and they're playing Forebear's Echoes.
Yep.
And they're using Prepare for War to get rid of so scrub pacifism.
Sure.
However, Prepare for War can honor a commander.
Which
Siege Captain happens to just randomly be a commander.
Warrior, no fix.
Which is, look, I think that Siege Captain should not have the commander trait, it should have the captain
Nervy.
trait. It is not Siege Commander, it is Siege
Siege
Captain. Let us, let's get some consistency here.
Well, then we just force Tyler to create a bunch of cards that do something with Captain.
I'm all for it. We can get our pirate theme.
Oh yeah.
Sacrifice.
Oh wow, we see this Nergui get Way of the Crab.
That was your action, yes. That's my
And so one of the Vanguard Warriors bites the dust.
Shono. Oh.
I think I would go ahead and just buy the Shono and dupe it at this point in time, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna get Way of the Crab this turn.
Yeah,
It's already happened. For those who don't know, Way of the Crab is max 1 per round.
yes.
Which is not something I learned when I
no
thought
fate.
when I first started playing. Like, this card's insane. I can just play 2-3 Way of the Crabs and kill your whole board. We do see the Siege Captain get hard bought with a Fate.
Yep. I definitely would have valued the Maya Mystic here just because of Talisman.
Maybe he's just like, because of this Way of the Crab, my board is so big, and I have the Witch Hunter, then I can just break it.
All right.
That's very risky. Sometimes with Unicorn, you only need one opportunity to go nuts.
Yeah.
Right. So if Christian did indeed draw into a talisman, then he'll be able to drag him away from the stronghold onto Upholding Authority.
He did draw a charge, but I guess timing-wise, that won't actually work for the Mini Mystic, because you play Talisman, and if you charge Mystic, then it's not the right action.
Yeah.
Draw face.
Nothing in draw face.
Yeah. Me neither.
Chat's agreeing with you.
Hey, I'm only half bad at the game.
Pre-conflict.
So these 3-drop characters that came out recently, the Siege Captain for Crab, and then the Imperial Attendant or Emperor's Attendant, the 5 political for Scorpion that came out.
Oh yeah, the
Okay.
1/5.
Yeah. So these sort of obnoxious stat boxes came out and haven't seen a whole lot of play.
They're
recently.
just straight up vanilla stat boxes.
Yeah.
They're Magma Rager and Amgam Rager for those who play Hearthstone.
Yeah.
You're 5/1 and you're 1/5.
But I do like. I mean, I always thought that Siege Captain looked like a cool card just because like 5 military 4/3 sounded like a good deal. It just doesn't really do anything for Crab, you know. Like
So-
they don't need the beef.
It having 2 glory is actually was kind of a detriment, which is one of the reasons I didn't see a lot of play.
Sure.
But I know that Inagon had been playing it earlier, and this was a while ago when it first came out, and they was trying it with True Strike and Jutsu.
Oh, sure.
Because 5 base military makes dueling really easy.
And I believe that's what Stephen Didion's splash was
I
yesterday.
will
Prepare
Prepare
for war,
and-
and then
and
True Strike
and
Kenjutsu.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would have thought maybe Ready for Battle. I think Ready for Battle is very powerful in Crab.
Yeah, I don't know what is. The nice thing about the Line Splash is that all of their cards don't really cost a whole lot
That's
of.
true. So to be fair, Ready for Battle
influence.
and Prepare for War are both 1 influence,
That's
I believe.
yeah.
And I think True Strike is 2. So
You could
just do
fit all.
of it.
Yeah, you could fit like 30 Lion cards into a conflict deck on a splash.
Look. Tyler was just like, these Lion cards are yellow. We need to entice people to play more.
Yeah.
So let's lower the influence value on them. Joe is saying, Joe from Cincinnati in chat, yo, what up, Joe? It was 3 Prepare for War, 2 True Strike. So maybe Prepare for War is 2 influence. That's 5 and True Strike's 2, so that's
Okay.
10.
So
Avoid. Just shoot, cover.
this is a very excellent attack by the Crab player here. One of the ways you lose the Unicorn is just by throwing all your dudes at their stronghold, and then they move you away, and then you die, right? So he's just attacking in with 1 guy
I
to
believe that's
reveal the
Khan's
box.
Ordu on the box.
It is indeed Khan's Ordu on
What
the
is your
box.
opinion of that?
I think it's fine. Like I like Khan's Ordu in row, but I also run a Rally to the Cause on my box. Christian's Water Province is Endless Plains, right?
Oh, sure.
So I do think you want some type of switch effect on your box, right? So if you're not running Rally, it's fine to put Khan's Ordu on your box just to make sure, you know, if you are it's like a close game, you know that you're going to have potentially 3 military to try and come back.
So my opinion of Khan's Ordu is there's such an insane tempo swing on the
So
turns they
cover,
hit in your row
player.
that it's just worth putting in your row. Obviously, Christian has chosen a configuration that doesn't allow him really to do that.
So I was talking with him a little bit, and I believe he will put it in row against like Scorpion,
okay.
you know, and there are matchups where it will make it into the row and he'll put something else on box.
Okay, I like
Ready
that.
card?
Because like against Scorpion, your opponent pokes you with like a liar, and then you Khan's Ordu them, and then they have only dash military characters, and they're like, I guess I don't do anything this turn.
I go home.
Yep.
Play a Talisman.
Yep, and there's Talisman of the Sun.
All right. So
And this is going to hit Upholding Authority. Probably we're going to get moved into Upholding Authority.
yes. Now what is Suichi's skill right now?
5.
Okay.
So is currently breaking.
Move you over here.
Yeah, because he's just honored. I don't know what the attachment is on
Holding.
him. He is Watch Commander.
Right.
So we do see Upholding Authority, Talisman into Upholding Authority, classic Unicorn play.
Yeah. So I would play one of my reprieves if I'm Michael, and then just let him look at the rest of my hand.
Sure.
There's 2 reprieves.
Yeah.
Basically, for those listening, if you're running into Upholding Authority and you have no way of just saying I don't want this to happen,
Yeah.
you should just start, especially attachments. You should like try and thin out your number of duplicates.
Yep.
And if you can get your hand down to all singletons, you feel a lot better.
Yeah, now, something that people do is they, in my opinion, they overplay into Upholding Authority. They just start playing a bunch of cards. And like I said, I think you only have to get down to singletons of certain cards.
You also only need to singleton your really important cards. Like if I have 2 reprieves, and I play one reprieve, and then you take 2 of my fans, I'm fine. I think reprieve is the better card, right?
Yeah. What I don't want to do is just start playing a bunch of attachments on characters that may not have the longevity of other characters, of other towers, of other platforms that I may buy later.
Yes.
So overplaying into Upholding Authority can be just as detrimental as just letting them have the whole hand. You have to be, you know, it's a nuanced process.
Yeah. I would absolutely just, I think, reprieve one of my characters with no fate here, and I'm done with it. I believe he's going to play the J Tetsubo. It's just like not a very efficient stat or fate to stat ratio.
I think that he's just looking to win this turn.
Well, he put it on Shuichi. Oh, he's going to stand Shuichi with the Wishmaker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Christian's running Cloud. It doesn't matter because he doesn't have a Shugenja available to even play it.
Yeah. YouTube chat is a lot more lively today, so...
yeah, there's more than 2 people in it.
Well, like yesterday there was like 2 people in it.
Yeah. All right, so Christian taking some time. You know, we also saw yesterday Eric took a little bit to memorize a hand off of Upholding Authority activation.
It's really unfortunate that we're not allowed to write down cards. It would be a lot faster if Christian was just writing these cards down and then gave his hand back.
Right.
Then instead of having to look at it for this long, he would just look at the list. And as cards got played, you would cross the list off.
Sure. But we are most likely going to see these 2 reprieves taken.
No, you can't. Not on this turn.
Oh, right.
Like, as much as you want to take the reprise here, you just like can't because you have to stop yourself from dying.
So you take the bonsai?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we see, right?
Yeah.
Because all the other cards are political, right? If you know your opponent has no more pumps.
Card, that's fine.
So something I think that we passed over, Christian did not activate Konzordu, which I think is a little odd, just because he was going to be playing Talisman anyway. I don't know why you wouldn't just make just make everything mill. You know, that way you don't have to deal with your own.
Yeah, it's not like you have political cards to fight the Shuichi, right?
Yeah. And so we do see that Christian took the bonsai. So Christian does have cavalry reserves in hand.
So what? He has the Trailblazer, he has Nergui, he has and he has 2 Chags.
Okay, so we do see a Cloud the Mind in his hand, but no Shugenja to play with.
He has multiple katanas, another Tattoo Wonder.
And I think he's had multiple spoils just stuck in his hand.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's like when, you know, everyone remembers the games where unicorns like ran you over and played spoils and reconflict and they drew their whole deck.
Yeah.
And you're like, I couldn't do anything. You always forget these games where unicorn never got going and had all these deck cards in their hands.
Yeah.
I don't think you can make an attack as Christian here. But I guess also you have to because you can't defend because there's a stealth character. There's a stealth character in play.
Yeah, I mean, you have to attack. Like, this Shono is not going to be making it into the conflict anyway.
Yeah, so Kaiju Shuichi, for whatever reason, has the covert word, and so he will be able to stealth past...
Yeah, so one thing I actually think is a little awkward from the crab player's perspective is that he went ahead and he activated Witch Hunter to stand Suichi.
Yeah, you can do water now.
And yeah, I would have waited for my unicorn opponent to either pass attack or attack in and use up. See what ring.
Yeah.
Now, because he did that action before Christian's attack, Christian can attack in and water and cause some kind of board damage.
Absolutely.
I will play a curve.
Oh, sure, yeah, you can play Tattoo Wonder as an attachment, which I think is what we saw.
And a Tattoo Wonder.
Oh, there it is, there it is. And so this allows you to not be coverted.
Christian is unfortunately out of money, right? So he will not be able to play cavalry reserves on defense or...
So cavalry reserves, I mean, the Mono Nergui would have been the really important card to bring back with that cavalry reserves.
Yeah.
You cavalry reserves, Mono Nergui, and a Trailblazer, and
probably
that's enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, he hasn't seen a Moto youth to even
fill out his curve, right?
Yeah.
We do have. Then you would have like a Sharno activation. Like I think he honestly could have defended with the cavalry reserves just because Nurgui sends home Shuichi, right?
Yeah, but you know, he pre-played attachments so that he can have a strong Shono for defense.
I think he has at least one defender honor still.
I do believe I saw that. Yes.
But like he saw his hand. I don't think Michael has anything he's playing anymore. He had like 2 reprieves, 2 fans of court games.
Yeah, no. At this point in time, he's just trying to break with all of his bodies. You know, just throw all the guys.
So he's 5, 6, 7, 8.
That sure matters. I don't know. 1 fate.
8 plus 4 is 12. 17, 18, 19, 22. I count really quick as a quick count on the crap board.
That is a lot.
12, 13, 14, 19, 22.
Yep.
I'll block with.
That's 22.
I'll block with 8.
All right, we block with 8.
Block with 8.
You know what? That's the right attitude.
Yeah.
What do you count 22? All right, I block with 8.
I got like 1 or 2 cards I could play, but congrats.
All right. Christian extending the hand. Game well played.
Let go, but
So my only question with this is if your opponent was not going to play any cards, right, and just if they were just going to present all their bodies on your stronghold and you're going to defend,
you just basically have to only attach the Tattoo Wanderer.
Yeah, I think at that point in time you're just supposed to attack in and try and bow something, do something.
You have to do the watering, right?
Yeah. But unfortunately, just this is kind of the way that the Crab matchup will go with Unicorn. You know, if Crab is able to stop you early and then get a board going, you just get it kind of into a place where you're not able to take advantage of your more swingy and high roll, as the chat likes, type cards. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you need to be able to put yourself in a position to leverage these highly powerful events.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't do that, you just kind of flounder, right? Like, because Unicorn is not playing the same game plan that most of the other clans in this game are playing. I would say Unicorn and Scorpion have almost the most polarizing game plans that are the most different from the norm.
Sure. So, and there is a very risk-reward nature to early Unicorn high roll, and we kind of saw that on display here. Like he was able to
never drew a charge, right?
Well, yeah, but he was able to recur a Chagatai into play. He played very heavily into an early conflict, and if he was able to break on that conflict, Chags would have stuck around, and I don't think the Crab player would have had anything to do to prevent probably 2 more breaks on that.
No, yeah.
It's just that, unfortunately, Crab had all the early military pumps as well to kind of go match
toe-to-toe.
Go toe-to-toe with Unicorn. And unfortunately, once Chagatai went home bowed in the first turn, there was just a lot of resources that was put into that, and it just didn't quite get the payoff, unfortunately.
I mean, it was literally the difference of 1 strength, right?
Yeah.
He lost that conflict 17 to 16. Even if he doesn't break on that conflict, he wins. He can use encampment to stand Chags, goes in against military, goes in against political, plays the captive audience,
and goes from there.
HMT trigger, breaks. So you break 2 that turn, right?
Yeah, there was a good chance of Christian being able to pull that off, right? And so I definitely understand why he made the risk. It just didn't get the payoff that Unicorn viewers would have probably liked to have seen, right? So we'll be back probably in about 20 minutes or so whenever the next round starts. 43. Oh, yeah, because it's a Unicorn game.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we'll be back in about 43 minutes.
Yeah. Stay tuned, and we've got 5 more excellent matches for you for today.
Thanks. Oh man, that feels bad.
All right, are we back? Can chat hear us?
Hopefully chat can hear us.
All right, so welcome back to round 2 of Legend of the Five Rings World Tournament here at FFG headquarters. We have a good matchup. Lion Honor Runner, as promised. Lewis Tarmichael won his first round.
Yep,
and
Houston native.
Yeah, absolutely. So this deck is pretty unique in the way that it gains honor. So a lot of honor running decks in the past have tried to really crutch on Way of the Chrysanthemum. This deck actually doesn't even run Way of the Chrysanthemum. It lays out a base of just a ton of small bodies and then uses the festival honoring event from Crane that we discussed yesterday to honor out and have, you know, a lot of people, a lot of guys leaving play to honor out.
Yeah, use those who serve.
Yeah.
And cards like Ashigaru Levy.
And it's like 3 staging grounds.
Yeah, 3 staging grounds. Akodo Gunso lets you refill face up. You basically are just like trying to spit out 4 or 5 characters every turn, and then like get like a critical mass, and then play festival, and get like 7 honor bodies.
Yeah, and you also have like, you know, charging honor general or, you know, like
Tuturi for double air.
Yeah. There's a different ways.
It plays Kami Unleashed.
Sure.
And Spirit Color Kami Unleashed. Not in the same conflict, because max one per conflict.
Yeah. And maybe an unfortunate matchup. So Brandon Lane is playing Scorpion, and I would guess that if you're playing Honor Runner, the one stronghold you don't want to play against is City of the Open Hand.
Maybe you can just brute force it.
Like maybe the loss of 1 per turn isn't enough because you're just bursting.
You're like just doing 6-7 a turn.
Sure. So
I think the bigger issue is getting your festivals canceled.
Right. Yeah. So the counter spells that Brandon is playing is going to be pretty important to identify early on for the Lion player, right?
If
like
he is on Forged Edict, we are in trouble.
Yes. But if he's on like things like Censure and if he's crutching on like Censure and Voice of Honor,
Voice of Honor is really hard to turn on.
will
it's really
basically
hard to
be
turn
dead,
on.
right?
Because Lewis is also playing Voice of Honor.
Yes.
So the splash is festivals and Voice of Honor, and then because you just have more characters than your opponent, you have more honored characters than your opponent.
Sure. We're still setting up the game and doing some technical things behind the studio that you can't see. So we do see that Scorpion is on Keeper of Air.
Yep. I don't ever expect to see a single Keeper with Scorpion.
I mean, if they are, they're playing Phoenix Splash, right? Like that's what that means.
Is the reason. That is the reason.
Yeah.
But the card Mark of Shame, I think, is too powerful to not take.
Yeah, Mark of Shame. You know, that's another card that you're going to have to basically brute force your way through, right? You know, Mark of Shame is going to dishonor guys. You know, that is going to cut into Lewis's game plan as well. It'll be interesting to see if this deck has, you know, enough raw power to just get through. Also, Scorpion may just be able to break, you know, to just go break their provinces,
yes,
right?
that is definitely. He's not going to dishonor.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously the line player is not going to be dishonored, but the characters that you're buying in this are not very good for political defense.
Not good for anything, really.
I mean,
they're there to be honored.
I mean, if you throw 5 guys on a military against Scorpion, you will probably break a province, right? It will be interesting to see if Lewis actually starts trying to play aggressively against Scorpion's provinces as well, if he starts to lose gas on the honor out plan.
Mishkov in chat asking, does it just aim for honor, or does it have ways and bonsais for brute force? I don't believe it has any bonsais because those cost you honor.
Yeah.
I think it might have Way of the Lion specifically for like Tuturi, like to get a Tuturi ring.
I don't remember if I saw that in Grody's deck or not. Whenever I got to look through it earlier.
Are they playing
morning.
the same list?
I don't know.
I would presume so. This is like a deck that has been circulating for the past couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it, I think, leading up to Worlds.
Sure.
That it exists.
About not getting pantsed by it. Right?
Yeah. We don't want to break your leg, right? Like,
yeah. So Brody's opponent, round 1, who's playing against a Phoenix opponent, the Phoenix opponent actually very quickly, just turn 1, recognized what he's playing against, and the Phoenix opponent bid 2 on their very first bid because they had Library and Storehouse in row, and so they didn't even take card disadvantage to hedge against that game plan.
Do you have to have sleeves to compete in a tournament? Yes, sleeves are part of the floor rules, actually, due to the sizing of the cards. Also, realistically speaking, if you're playing a card game, you want to sleeve your cards for you want your cards to last, so sleeving them is definitely the right way to go, and it just shuffles a lot easier with sleeves.
For sure, yeah.
And so we just see everyone gathering their stuff. We see Louis
is that
honor coins.
far off
Those are going to be important as Louis
well,
climbs his way to 25.
I mean, for this situation, I think I would enjoy playing with the clicker more than tokens. The clicker that FFG has said is allowed for keeping track of honor total, just because it's going to get up there, and I would definitely get really irritated
I have nothing
with
to do but to trust
25 honors worth of tokens.
So Louis, like a lot of, so this is something I find with a lot of
I may
old-timer
not
players.
win this game, but
Louis
God darn it, I'm
is
going to be
basically saying,
entertaining.
he just said to his opponents, like, you're a Scorpion player, I have nothing to do but to trust you.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the old-timer players really have certain mannerisms. Like I know people who will never cut my deck, and then they'll play against Scorpion players, and they'll only cut Scorpion players' decks.
Sure.
Just like as like kind of a,
It's a troll, but it's like it's a troll
But it's like
from
cool.
the lore.
Like that's why I think this community is really cool.
Yeah.
Is you have like very weird things like this that also are really funny.
Yeah, I mean, the different ways that people interact with the lore and then bring that into the card game itself is really fun, and it allows for fun chatting opportunities for us. Like whenever you were wondering if a Yoshi was going to get a duelist training yesterday, right?
Yes, yes. Stuff like that is really fun. Watching the game. It is just a game about magical samurai.
Ooh, he didn't cut the Scorpion stack.
Yeah, he didn't cut it the first time either. He said, as a Scorpion player, I can only trust you.
Yeah.
Okay.
See some friendly faces in chat. We got Mittens, Beard of Zeus, Merholtz.
Okay, so is that Prepare for War, or is that the other lion card that I don't know?
I think that's the one lion card we didn't know before.
Okay. No, we still don't know it?
I've never seen that card played, so I don't know what the art is. He mulliganed it, so we don't have to worry about it.
Yay!
And we see Voice of Honor in charge, and I believe that was that a Legion of One?
I didn't make out the picture.
You really don't see that card outside of HMG.
Am I here charged by the FCC?
Well, and Goblin, like paired with Goblin Snake, right?
It's on Twitch, so it's online.
Oh, yeah, no, we're fine.
This is, the FCC has nothing to do with it.
When they stream this later on the Game Show Network.
Yeah, no, we're not
Joe
that
from Cincinnati in
popular.
chat also, yeah.
They'll do that, and then, again, because there's nothing to do but to trust the Scorpion.
No.
All right, and then who's first player?
Best of luck, sir.
Looks like it is Lewis.
Here we go.
He's got the Satori little...
Satori, HMD, yeah, you are a jerk.
What was our
send
favorite
in
card?
the clown.
Hidden Moon Dojo.
Hidden Moon Dojo?
In play.
Yes.
Turn 1, in the middle.
Right in the middle.
And then I'm first.
And in my opinion,
two.
I don't know if this is a good flop for Lewis. I would think that you would want to have a flop that represents a few more bodies than this, but luckily he does have charge for the Honored General, so it's not necessarily terrible.
And then
And we do see...
Go ahead.
We do
Set
see
this where this is going.
this is a Venerable Historian, I believe is the card name.
Yes, so it honors itself
If you are more
honorable.
Yeah.
It's a -1, and it has 3 glory.
Yep. Very Corset card.
Yes. I played a lot of it in Corset.
Truly, and those are Legion of Ones, by the way.
Oh, okay.
There's 2 copies of Legion of One in this hand.
I pass.
And I guess maybe that's just your bonsai stand-in. Legion of One does kind of seem awkward in a deck that goes so wide.
That sounds like a good plan.
Maybe you're just trying to do an attack with one character, and then
I'm pretty sure that Lewis has already put himself on an attacking, breaking kind of game plan. Just because I see the fate on the Berserker, and so that's definitely going to get paired with Legion of One, in my opinion. If Shaylee, or not Shaylee, if Brandon Lane attempts to.
It is indeed Seeker Cash. Indeed Seeker Cash on Hidden Moon Dojo.
That's right. I'm in your head.
Oh, no.
I'm in your head.
You know all my tricks.
So Brandon has very big-brained so far.
Very smart, very smart.
Yeah, this is the most intelligent way and my favorite way to play Scorpion.
So it looks like Scorpion is on Fate Worse Than Death. So I see Fate Worse Than Death, Goblin Sneak, Miyako, Voice of Honor, and Noble Sack. Already has double assassination in his hand, has the duty.
Now, can you play can you play duty in response to losing honor from assassination?
You cannot, as our good friend Arash found out at Gen Con. You cannot do that because assassination is a cost. It is not a card effect or a framework step.
Sure.
Fortunately, if you have Mark Armitage watching your game, he will allow you to. He will tell your opponent that you're a good person, and they'll let you take it back.
Nice, nice.
Yep.
It's always good to have a Mark Armitage around for that kind of reason, you know. So
Give me an offer
Very
every time.
interesting.
I know, and I'm gonna knock every time.
All right,
Yep.
so we see an assassination. Maybe he just like doesn't have like. Do you just want to? I don't get really assassinating no fake characters.
I pass.
Me too.
Maybe I would like
Nothing.
maybe like just like blunt this conflict and then
Pre-con.
assassinate the guy at home because it has a fate on it.
Sure.
I go first.
I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't feel like Venerable Historian was going to be getting there.
Add up the shadows.
Pass.
Me too.
Yep.
I don't necessarily like this card, but I do know some people play it. I look at this. This is what I call an ancestral character.
Political air at
Okay.
Uchiha.
That was my like
Yeah,
my nickname
survey
for it. Like
says
when Scorpions used to play it, like when they didn't have like
display.
the other Goblin Sleek wasn't that popular.
Right.
People did
Yeah.
play Add Up to Shadows earlier
Absolutely.
in the game.
Yeah.
And it's basically an ancestral character, right? Like you pay 2 for your stats, you do your attack, and you pay 1, and it comes back to your hand.
Right. You pay 1 in a kind of resource to recur it. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
It helps you though,
Yeah,
right?
no
Because
defense, pass.
Yeah,
you're
you're
change
losing.
your honor.
Yeah. I mean, it
Not in this matchup.
No.
But yeah, I mean, Adept has just
I
been kind of
lose
pushed
1
out
honor
of
for not
decks because of
defending. I lose
other
1
very
honor
strong conflict
from,
characters that have just sort of come along. Miyako
Airing,
and
I'm
Goblin
assuming,
Sleek taking a
skill
lot of
1?
slots
Yes.
in Scorpion decks currently.
Yeah.
Yes, you
So
do.
Keeper Initiate comes into play because of the win on air.
Precon. Pass.
Me too.
Well, I got a military left.
Yep, we're going to see Lewis rumble on in
Let's
there.
try this again.
Desperately trying to
turn.
get rid of the Hidden Moon Dojo so that Brandon
Well,
is
I'm not
forced
gonna
to
respond
interact
this
with the
time.
Dynasty phase at some point in time in the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, but that's you don't want to be doing that. That's boring.
Fool me
So,
once, shame on you.
as
Fool me
a
twice.
Scorpion player,
Shame
or sorry,
on
not
Tony
Scorpion. If you're against a Scorpion player,
Yeah.
and Hidden Moon
Sorry,
Dojo
she's
is in the
done
middle,
that
and you
much.
obviously need to break it, it's on Secret Cache.
I agree.
Do you keep attacking Secret Cache for the rest of the game?
So
Keeper
I will
Initiate
make a second attack on Secret Cache in the same turn,
Sure.
as we're seeing Lewis do here.
What about next turn?
No, at that point in time, I try and
even
just
fun.
forget that Hidden Moon Dojo exists, and I
And
just
just
never
cry
go.
yourself
And
to sleep?
I
Yeah,
just
okay,
never
okay.
go back to Secret Cache ever again.
Excellent.
I'm taking,
At one
I'm
point in time,
breaking.
we were spectating a game.
Our good friend Micah.
Yep, Kyle Wolfson was
yeah,
playing
okay.
against a Scorpion player and went into Secret Cache, I want to say 4 separate times over the
Let's
course
just
of
have
the
a turn.
game.
Look, Hidden Moon Dojo's in the middle on
wrong,
Secret
it's-
Cache.
it's-
It's like Magistrate Station. You gotta break it.
Yeah. But the Secret Cache activation
Oh, you got
is
fate.
really just too strong to allow your opponent to continue to get consistent
doing it.
value
Yeah,
over and
absolutely.
over and over
Let the
again.
beast
You
fly.
just have to
I do
deal
have
with the
some
fact that Hidden Moon Dojo
Yeah.
exists.
If it was just like draw a card, I would maybe rumble in there, right? Then it's just one random
Yeah,
card.
well, yeah,
The
sure.
selection
It's
is just too
a
much.
fertile field. If it's a fertile field, it's fine. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
the card selection and the insane nature of Scorpion conflict decks already just make it too much of a liability.
For sure.
So we do see a Legion of 1.
Cards in hand?
1, 2,
Ha!
3,
We have a Monas in
4,
chat
5,
who
6, 7,
was
8.
against Micah, and he says it was 6 times or so. And BCG, he played Assassination already on the Venerable Historian, so Lewis is actually safe right now.
Yes.
So I see a Bayushi Collector in his hand. Does he have a Way of the Scorpion 4-Shame? A pretty common combination.
I'm having a hard time making out Brandon's hand right
The way
now.
he's holding it, yeah. He has Duty for sure. He has another Assassination. He has a
It's not
Miyako.
ideal.
So it looks like he's going to maybe overwrite this Keeper Initiate.
Yeah, I mean,
He's a Sentry. He does have a 4-Shame. So to do this, how much Fate does Brandon have right now? He has 6.
yes.
So he could overwrite Dishonor, and then he could play...
Oh,
he's going to Favorable Ground in. Yeah, you have to go in. Because to play Miyako into the conflict, your Keeper has to be there.
yes. No, his keeper was already
Something
there.
good.
No, I'm saying you can't go out.
And pass.
Bayushi showed you. I love it. I love
Oh, I see. He just burned the favorable so he could
Hidden Moon Dojo,
use
yeah.
Hidden Moon Dojo's action.
I'm like,
Okay.
as long as I'm breaking, I'm a happy camper.
Lewis pointing out the obvious.
Yes. I believe what we'll see here is
I
we'll
can try
see
something, but I don't think it's gonna be good, so
Shosuro
we'll
Miyako
have
come
it.
down.
Sure.
So you pass.
You can Dishonor. Oh,
Nope,
oh,
it's
just
just happening. This is a really big fortunate
yes.
turn of events for
Get
Lewis.
rid of that
I respect the,
thing. So
the holding the
take-
resources. I do
break,
think
and
a Secret
then,
Cache and Hidden Moon
break-
Dojo are so
do that,
powerful. I might
lock
have
me
attempted.
first ring.
You could
So I will
Shosuro
draw a card.
Miyako.
It's just the early assassination play was a little suspect.
Sure.
If your plan is to defend Hidden Moon Dojo.
You Miyako over the Keeper, Dishonor
seen worse. I've
the
seen better.
Berserker, and then you could play a Collector and then
Free
4-Shame.
conflict to you?
Pass.
And just hope they don't have ready for battle.
Jeff coming
Sure.
back.
Which Lewis did.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, Lewis had ready for battle.
Clearly,
So-
the soul read was there.
Yeah, no, he was. I mean, whenever his berserker did not get assassinated, he pretty much had the open and clear to go
Yeah.
ahead and take
Absolutely.
secret cache.
So we are going to see a military void here, or
Oh, he's coming
political
military.
void. Military void. Yep.
Coming back to the shameful display.
And going to see a break on shameful display, I believe.
Bringing it
Oh, he
back.
just has the charge, right?
Okay.
He does have the
My
charge.
first action.
Oh, he's got
There's
echoes.
Echoes too. Regal bearing.
Let's go
Okay.
ahead and spend one.
This is a cool deck.
And I'm going to
That's pretty
attempt
cool.
Yeah.
to charge
Choosing.
Ujiaki.
What?
That's a good one.
All right.
Charges Ujiaki instead of honor.
3-3.
Oh, marker shame.
Okay.
If you charge honor general,
3-3.
you're susceptible to marker shame.
I guess that's true, and I don't know, but Ujiaki's just
I'll go ahead and
not
take
as big.
That sounds like a plan.
Oh, but then you activated shameful.
Oh,
yeah.
this is shameful. Okay, this is fine. This makes sense.
I'd like to react.
And we see the aforementioned marker shame.
Sure.
2-1.
So,
Oh yeah, so Bearded Zeus and Murholtz are local to Lewis, and Bearded Zeus is in chat saying that he's worked on this deck for months, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I'm super glad that we have him here.
So we are seeing Way of the Line
42.
being
Oh,
played.
no, yeah,
So
You're right. Oh, yeah, just.
1-2.
Yeah.
42.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
So he goes to 6 minus 2, so it's 4.
Yeah.
4 to 3.
I'll have you lose an honor.
well, actually 42 because Malcolm's is on.
Pass.
Oh, from Shameful, yeah. I always think that marker shame isn't. I
what did you
forget
play so
your
far?
1-2 punch with Sylvian Refresh. It doesn't just
Earth.
all in one, right?
Right.
All right.
So it looks like we see a duty. I think I saw a calling in favors, a 4 shame,
That Calling
and
in
a
Favors
collector,
is going to be super dead.
and a censure. Okay, so Brandon's hand's actually not very good right now.
Yes. I mean, he just.
1, 2, 3.
It's not like Scorpion's in a bad spot right now.
No.
You know?
He just kind of took some damage on turn 1. He might
For
not
now.
necessarily have had to.
Yeah.
Like, and now he's used a lot of his fate, right? He had 6 fate. Now he's down to 3.
Claim the Void Ring.
You're seeing the advantage
I know
of cards that
nothing.
cost 0 versus cards that cost fate, right? Like Lewis has played cards all cards that cost 0.
Yeah.
Me too.
And has been able to basically save his
no,
one
I
fate.
took
He
the first
played
you're
charge.
first player.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a very common problem for
I already
Unicorn,
did.
right? That's why they need so much fate in conflict phase because
Yeah.
virtually nothing in their conflict deck actually costs 0. I mean, there's bonsai and whatnot, but your big name stuff always costs fate.
This is the end.
So
Anything
favor will
else?
go
I
to
can pass.
Lewis,
Yeah.
which means that Censure will be offline for Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
He'll lose an honor via Ujiaki being discarded.
And
There's
the
your Mark
Berserker
Shane,
as
sir.
well.
No, the Berserker has the fate, right?
I would say
No,
thank you so
I thought.
much.
Did you
but-
not get rid of the fate for?
Oh, Legion of One. Yeah, I
No,
forget
I
Legion of
play
One
favor,
pumps.
Military.
And
My
you have
favorite
to
flavor is
lose the
chocolate.
fate.
Understandable.
Maybe he didn't.
No, I guess he didn't. I guess he didn't.
I
use the
guess just
extra
one
bump.
Legion of One
I
was
discard
6.
the general.
Yeah, it was enough.
And then you have the second one, right? So
wait,
if
oh,
your
that's
opponent
not-
plays
that's
cards
not
into the
trigger.
conflict, you just
Sorry.
use the second Legion.
Sure.
So, what's the order on this? I need to.
So
Rings,
First,
fate the
rings,
rings,
rings go back,
rings go back and
And then-
regroup 2.
claim, and then in regroup 2, and then
Regroup. Yeah, you
straighten everything, and now I can discard the general?
Yes.
Fine.
So they're actually
And then I
going
get
through
my
these
fate.
steps of the end of the
That's the
turn
start of,
sort of properly.
It's at the start of
I'm
Dynasty?
fairly sure if I asked 90% of players, they
So
don't know
we
what's
now
happened in
switch
the
over
regroup
and you
phase.
are the-
I don't know what happened in the regroup phase.
That's what I get for not doing
Basically, when you're playing in paper, what happens is the fate phase and the regroup phase get merged together.
Yeah.
And you just kind of shortcut everything.
But it is important that Lewis is laying the groundwork for his opponent that we're going to be going through the instep like this because his deck is kind of it cares about.
Yeah, if somebody tells me, like, if somebody walks me through it, I'll follow it, but otherwise, I'm just all about that shortcut life.
Sure,
It's like 3-4 minutes each turn that you save if you don't, like,
if you shortcut through
if
it.
you just shortcut the whole thing.
Right. I just think that Lewis thinks that those phases are important
Yeah,
to his
absolutely.
deck, so he's laying the groundwork that we're going to be going through these steps as it's important to my game plan.
And we see LPB champions, another Berserker, and a Sorrel. We did see Brandon keep the Bayushi
Alibi
Shoujo.
artist? What?
What do you make of that? Does that maybe signify like an ambush or something?
It's like that card is good or something.
I mean, he may just buy it.
We'll
He
go
just bought somebody else, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think
So
he's gonna pass here, right?
So people, Scorpion players have been putting Shoju into their deck specifically for like Lion and other matchups that have low political because he's just a beast. You can't block him.
he breaks your problems
you know.
every turn.
Yes, like he just gets in there, and there's very little you can do about it on political. Shoju is huge.
What is it? His nickname in core was like Bayushi Chainsaw.
I guess
That's
yeah,
what I heard. He shows up and he cuts you down.
Yeah. So he is a popular buy, and I mean, we do see him purchased, and that is all of Brandon's fate except for one.
Now, Chris, what is your opinion on Bayushi Shoju wearing Sashimono?
Apparently, it's incredibly strong.
Excellent. I'm glad we got that out of the way. I think this is the first time I've seen Shoju since that fateful day.
Oh, that's right. I'm a little past
for those of you on the chat that are wondering, Anil got to watch me get absolutely manhandled in 1 turn and a half by a Shoju that got a Sashimono.
It was amazing.
And I couldn't do anything.
It was amazing. For those who don't know, Bayushi Shoju is actually one of the few characters in the game that has the Bushi and Courtier traits.
Yes.
So we see Brandon losing 3 honor, so I believe that was a 1 to 4 bid or a 2 to 5 bid.
But you have answers.
Okay, so there's 5, and then I think Lewis, Drew, prepare for war.
Yeah, and
and another ready for battle.
Even outside of playing a honor-specific deck, I do see Lewis drop his bids incredibly early, pretty much in most Lion decks that he runs. It's just now he's running a deck that's much more synergized toward that game plan.
He's at 12 honor right now, so definitely not
That's you.
right up there. He did flip the storehouse, so he's not going to be down that many cards.
You have more cards than me.
It's true.
No, honestly, I think that Lewis...
Oh, it's Vengeful Oathkeeper.
Yeah, Lewis can use his honor-running game plan just to ensure that he's always in a safe zone and probably just take his time and just swarm 1 province a turn, and just kill Scorpion in 5 turns.
How much fate is on this Lion's
Come on, punch me
It
in the
looks
face,
like 1,
Scorpion.
and I'm
Right
terrified.
That sounds like a plan.
That's the game plan of the deck. Like, it literally doesn't fate anything. Or if it does, it's very minimally. Because you want the characters to leave play.
Right, because they're honored.
Yeah.
Political fire at the Berserker.
All right.
Yep, we just showed you.
In no universe should Lewis block this.
Yes.
Secret Fate?
For those who don't know, Bayushi Shoju has not been seen for a long time. He has really fallen out of the meta, but when he's in play, he's terrifying.
Yeah,
So he is a 5-cost character. He has 3 military, 7 political, and 2 glory. He's Bushi Courtier champion, and he has action. During a political conflict, you may choose a participating character of your opponent and give them -1 political.
Okay.
Oh my
so,
God.
So this is hilarious. So Lewis defended with this Lion's Pride Brawler, which may die as a result of it.
Yes.
But he did it specifically so he could play Regal Bearing to draw 4 more cards.
I don't. So you have to decide if you're going to do anything about it before I choose.
Oh,
Because the
understood.
choosing is
Oh,
part of
yes,
the
yes,
process.
yes, 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 yes. Yeah, no.
You do have to choose. I believe you have to choose either person.
No reaction to you playing the court games.
I'll honor
I mean,
choose.
I'm not really sure about the framework
So
step
I'm
of how they're
not
doing that, but I
doing
don't think Lewis has an answer anyway.
Sure, but I'm pretty sure court games you have to choose before. I think chooses before the dash. I could be wrong. I'll check.
We'll pass.
No, I think it's choose 1, right, and then dash.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
We'll have a judge be on the lookout for that, but at this point in time, it didn't matter.
It didn't matter, yeah.
So the only thing would you trade 4 fate for 4 cards?
No.
I mean, that's basically what Lewis has done here, though, right? Or wait, does Regal Baron cost 1?
Yes.
Oh, so we trade 5 fate for 4 cards.
Correct. I would not do that.
It's a heavy expenditure. I think it was a little bit greedy on his end. I mean,
Well,
like,
I would just do it on my attack, right?
Shoju was just so obviously going to kill that Lion's. It was going to kill anything that got in the way,
Discard the Berserker keep.
And he's still taking the break.
Okay, so it is actually post dash. So when you play court games, you actually have to cancel it before your opponent chooses what they're going to do with it.
Okay. All right. Very cool.
Interesting.
And I learned something.
Yep. And so for those who don't, those who saw, Bayushi Shoju did indeed just kill Lion's Pride Brawler. Bayushi Shoju has this great text that you can give a character -1 political, and if they ever reach 0 during the conflict, they die.
Yes. So Shoju does represent Scorpion's win condition right now, which is to break political.
Break one province on political every turn.
Yes, and Lewis is basically going to try and break 1 province on military every turn.
Yep.
And now it becomes a race.
It's kind of all I got.
I believe Lewis has a charge in his hand for this Champions of Yomi.
Nice.
Champions of Yomi is a pretty sick card. One of my favorite new Lion cards to
I
come
think
out.
Champions of Yomi is really sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we see Shameful Display being used to honor Miyako. The Berserker's already dishonored.
So I do believe that Lewis will try and set up a noble sack play for the Shoju.
3 to 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
How is he going to honor this Matsu Berserker?
I have absolutely no idea. I don't think it's going to happen this turn.
Oh, okay.
But I've been seeing him thumb through his cards. There,
So Lewis has a noble sack.
Yes.
This could get really spicy considering Brandon has Soulbound Approach in his deck.
Sure.
There's just there's gonna be a lot of
tiptoeing around.
A lot of tokens being exchanging, right?
Yeah. You're gonna have a bunch of people on a bridge, just like nudging each other. Can I
go off? You want to go off?
You want to?
Man,
All right, so we do see Miyako step in the way. I didn't. The province here.
It's shameful display.
It's shameful display.
Okay, so first action was shameful.
But the
Berserker's already dishonored.
Right.
Miyako was dishonored.
So he just
used neutral Miyako.
Okay. I guess that's worth it.
Very, very true.
So the nice thing here is if should Lewis.
Yeah, I'll Legion of One.
No, he's just going to go for it.
Legion of One is a card.
Kyo Nakoma does allow you
Before
some
that
plays,
resolves,
like he has
yes.
Vengeful
What would that do?
Oathkeeper in his hand. He
What
could
that
choose to,
Yeah,
to
that
lose
would be
this
a
conflict
So you
and
would
then
be winning
activate
and
box and
breaking?
then play Vengeful Oathkeeper and then go in
So I
for
like
like
to win and
political or
break.
something.
But
But
like we laid out the game
I
plan here.
hear
Gotta break
that
military.
gotta break on military.
Gotta break on
right?
military.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what he's doing. So,
ain't happening.
really, I've kind of been happy
Well,
with
I mean,
Lewis's
I
play
don't
right
really.
up to
I mean,
the LPB defense.
Yeah,
Like
I would have
he-
just
he-
your opponent
he-
can't say worse than that, right?
You
Because
can't
they have
trade
the
you can't trade
No,
onboard
you're down
resources
to
like that.
3
you
on.
You
know?
just all you need to do
Yeah,
is like
it's a
take
little
your
rough.
break and then do your political attack with your
Look at all that
LPB.
Yeah.
other people you
I
got
mean,
there.
I just think that there is a more offensive way that he could have still accomplished the
You're not
tasks
wrong.
that he wanted to with that defense.
Yeah, it's all right. Winning and breaking.
So you're gonna pass?
No, it resolves. But
It resolves. Oh,
I'm gonna
you're gonna do that. Oh, yeah.
All right, so Legion of One resolves. Brandon draws a card,
And then,
and
I
then
am
Lewis will
taking
pass.
a break and I'll pass.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm a happy camper.
So you're at 6 to my 3.
Yes.
Let's do one of these guys.
A bonsai.
All right,
Dude,
so we're
does he
playing
kick?
cards.
Oh, and he kicks.
So he's down to 2. Brandon does have duty in his
That
hand.
puts you up to
Yeah,
7.
I mean, I don't think Brandon's in danger
That's-
of being
that's seven
dishonored
is
out
more
in like the
than
next
6.
2 turns, but if it goes on a little bit longer, he could
So
be in danger.
Brandon both these turns has used his stronghold to lower Lewis's honor by 1. I think if his game plan was to buy Shishoju this turn, he should have gained it on this turn.
Yeah, because you don't need to keep lying off of the honor plan. You're going to naturally do that anyway with dishonoring characters and stuff like that. In the Scorpion Mirror, I very often use the box to gain an honor and throw another honor back into our collective
Absolutely.
pool. You know. So
Let's go
Lewis
ahead
here.
and spend 1, and I will attempt to charge.
Okay, so we see a charge,
Okay.
and we see a voice.
All right.
You
Shoju got honored by
honorable,
Court Games.
Scorpion. You are absolutely right. That would be wrong of me to charge.
It would.
That would be so wrong of me. In the face of all of that.
Lewis is having a good time. Now, Lewis does still have 2 echoes in his hand, and he has all the fate to be able to play
Yeah,
it.
so he could Echo's Honor General or Komo
charge.
Uchiaki. Because he has the
He
favor.
does have the
to,
favor.
and the proper
I'm
gets you
pretty
way.
sure
Call upon my
it's
ancestors.
What did you pay?
going to be Honor General. I think on.
What?
You paid 3.
I did. No. I only played 2, and then
I thought. Okay.
there was one fate that was kind of off to the side, but that wasn't on my
There
stronghold.
was
so I
one.
was,
He
yeah,
put the
yeah.
charge one.
All right,
Yeah.
they're having some communication about
So,
fate.
and
Lewis
they're-
likes
they're
these
saying
extra-
short Lewis
Bears,
didn't pay too much
echoes.
fate for it.
Yeah.
What choice do you make?
Interesting.
That is a
Now,
tough
what
one.
if he gets the LPB? You could.
Oh, such a big brain play.
Yeah,
yes.
LPB is dead now. 2 Forebears Echoes. But instead, he's definitely thumbing the Komo Uchiaki. I believe that is the card that we will see being.
Yes, I mean, since he's really not going to be honoring out, the Honor General probably is a little bit, not as favorable as just Ujiaki, and then you get to.
You just like guarantee the break, right? Because like
Yeah.
no matter what
Since, like, you
Scorpion
have
can
the
do, they
favor, it
cannot
looks like
beat
the favor.
Ujiaki.
Yeah.
My best choice.
But he does get the Honor General.
Does look
Interesting.
like the favor.
He
in
should be
reaction,
saving
I
it for
went ahead
the
and
next
used
turn. The thing is, I don't know if you'll have the
reaction
favor.
to honor
Well,
him.
wait, he has a political
In
attack
case
left,
you
right?
have any
He has no characters.
strange poison.
He has a Vengeful Oathkeeper in his hand.
He's not going to lose this
That would be
military.
He
very
could just
dishonorable.
buy it.
Look, I don't know if that's possible.
So that's going to add 5.
I actually always forget you can buy that card.
7, which means you are again winning and.
I am again winning and breaking. As a lion, I tend to do these things. But you, sir, have a handful of answers. I am ready to receive the punishment for my actions.
Brandon's in a
of
pretty tough
coming to
place
this
right now,
shameful
I would
display.
actually
And
say.
punishment you shall receive.
Is this water? So, is this
not
this
this
Albaris has a
But
fate, I
not this
believe.
day.
I will pass.
So the watering is not going to
And-
do
and
anything.
the pass has occurred.
So I think what I might have done
Would you
here
like to discard my
is I might have
first
actually
I
gotten
would-
the
yes, I
LPV
would like
just
to
to bow
discard
the
that
alibi
face down
artist,
card.
right? And
Yeah.
then I can get in there.
And then
Unopposed air and force the duty.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
That's a.
I actually think that would have been ideal.
okay. Well, I mean. Okay.
I mean, alternatively, he could have just not sacrificed his LPV and just had it to use in the conflict as well.
Semantics. Details.
Return
Details.
to the land of Mado, and I shall gain an honor for his departure.
Good. And then
Yeah, Cyril, thanks for
that's
pointing
also
out
pre-conflict.
rules for us.
Yeah, I-
for core games.
Yeah, we know that ruling. We're talking about cancels.
Yeah. Let's go. Oh, yeah. So you can't.
The choice of honor dishonor comes before the interrupt window.
Yeah, he put
Sure.
that attack
I just play
down
core
as he was
games and
saying.
I just say what I'm doing with it. And then if they cancel it, they cancel it.
I play Assassination of Duty at the same time, and
Yeah.
wait for my opponent to
Hey,
interact
I have
with
never
me.
done that before. I have never done that one before.
We're nothing if not amusing. I'll pass.
Me too.
Yeah.
Ooh, Boo keep pointing out that
I don't
maybe
think it's
Lewis
in my
is
best
Lord
interest to go
Choju.
air here.
I don't believe so, but
No, I
The
don't.
upside
There's
is
no
so
way.
low.
I would know. I've hung out with that guy.
we need to find this out. If anybody knows who Lord Choju is, we need to get them to
military
Worlds.
air
Absolutely.
And
Oh, is that? Oh,
he's the best role player
I meant to
ever.
go.
And you know what?
I
That
meant to
is,
go. I'm so sorry.
that's okay.
For those of you wondering,
my
Lord
mistake.
Shoju
It was
is
unfair
an
to
online
ask
player
about
that we're
and
discussing,
you
not
know
actual
what?
Shoju that's
Just
on
so
the
you
table
know,
to clear up any
I am willing.
confusion
So we
there.
see the Adept of Shadows come
I
back
appreciate it,
down.
but I'm afraid I must refuse.
Okay,
A minimum of 3 times.
A
Let's
minimum
not
of
go
players
around.
are doing a lot of chattering.
They really are.
You refuse your
So
free time.
the Scorpion player is at
Okay,
2
well,
honor
in
and
that
at
case-
0 fate.
Fourth time.
And a fourth time.
He has a blocker though. He has the
Okay,
Alba artist.
well,
That's
in
true.
So you can't die, right? Like,
No. I'm just saying, like, you know, the Scorpion's
in the
bleeding
light
resources
of
right now.
well, he's doing air right now, so he'll get a keeper. So like, I think Lewis might play the eventual keeper to defend.
I think, or he may
my first
echoes.
action will be to spend 1, and I believe that my 4 force become reservists because
Oh, right, he's the
I
water
do know
ring.
of water.
Nice.
Indeed.
I always
My
forget the
knowledge
elements
of
on these
water
cards because
sure.
they're so random.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know which ones are which.
defend my land.
Apparently, each faction does have like 2
Shinobi.
elements that represent them.
well,
So
I think
it's
that's all
water
that
and
Shinobi
something
can
for
do.
line. I think it's water
so
fire,
I would
if I
guess.
remember correctly.
Well,
I think
and
that sounds
since
right.
you
Yeah.
are at my shameful display, I think
So
it's only
3
right
force,
that
it's a
I
3/1 and
show
he has
you
favor, so he
that,
goes to 4,
how
and then he's going to
shameful
shameful display.
and I shall honor my reservist and dishonor
So
your
this
adept.
actually puts the adept down
We didn't already do that, right?
to dishonored.
I think
And then if
Yeah.
Lewis can
Yeah, you
win
came here
a
to-
fire, oh sorry, fire's not
Shoju
available.
like,
I think Lewis
unceremoniously
could win
broke
either the void or the
my,
earth ring. It would be really nice. Like if he earthed the duty, how savage would that be?
Oh. I mean, sometimes your best
feel
cards
that
get
in
sniped,
passing it
you
is
know,
the
by Earth
correct
Rings.
move, and my
Random
noble
discard
reservist
is
shall-
fun
shall
and
enjoy
interactive.
this lovely gift of an air ring.
Um,
Now I have a
Did-
political attack.
so he
remaining.
defended air, right?
disagree
Yeah.
with you.
So did he just miss his keeper activation?
not keeper?
Oh, it's seeker.
Seeker,
yeah.
yeah. Lion has no keeper role. at the moment.
Ignore me.
Yep. Lion currently has no keeper role. They have Seeker of Air and Seeker of Earth.
He's wanting to be aggressive, but I actually think it's correct to pass here, do nothing on Lewis's part.
Yeah, if you have no way to beat this ally artist,
Yeah,
you
just-
don't spend resources.
Just chill out.
Chill out with your forfeit. You're in a great
as
position.
Scorpion,
I would never.
I mean,
Does Lion have a Cinder in hand? I don't think so.
I see ready for battle. I see. I believe. We know the Vengeful Oathkeeper. Actually, I think I saw one.
Okay.
I think I did.
8.
No, that might be Regal Bearing actually, next to the voice.
I officially accept the fact that what I'm about to do is considered pressing my luck.
Oh no, he's gonna do
Oh,
stuff
no.
instead of nothing.
Well, wait a minute.
Don't do that.
Let me make
Just
sure
do nothing, please.
Oh, he has double sack.
Yeah.
What does
I
that do for him?
Doing that would indeed be pressing my luck, so I shall, even though Gandalf said that I shouldn't, I shall pass.
My man, Lewis is being disciplined.
He's learning.
Look, to be fair, I think a lot of players in that situation would try and press their luck.
Yeah.
That is definitely something that
I may not flip
can
it,
get
but
you in
I
trouble.
mean, I'm
Especially
lying.
against
Why would I
Scorpion.
flip
Because
it?
like pressing your luck and losing resources you don't need to is how Scorpion beats you.
Scorpion is on Forged Edict. Or not Forged Edict.
They're on
Favorless
Favorless in
Death.
Death.
Yeah, Favorless in
Yeah.
Death.
They just don't have any. They don't have the money to properly do it. They'll have to hard pass here to be able to effectively fate worse than death anything next turn.
Yeah. No, we saw in the secret for the secret cache activation.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge, and your almighty judgment.
All right, so they're currently working through the fate phase, about to begin the regroup phase. There we go, Champions of Yomi, very smartly being mulliganed into the discard pile.
For those who don't know, Champions of Yomi has a reaction. After you lose a conflict where you have a participating attacking character, you may put this character into play from your discard pile, and then at the end of the phase, you remove it from the game.
And then 7 fate at the beginning.
And it is just a 6/6. It is just huge.
I mean, you know, 6 political with Lion is it's a big game.
Nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. So we see you know.
Look, I already had 4 fate, so I get more fate.
You see a bunch more random Lion characters, and then this what is that?
It's Armament Artisan.
There we go. Artisan.
It is whenever a character you control becomes honored, honor Armament Artisan. It's the opposite of Stabby Politician.
Okay. So I
feel against this
and then
matchup.
and then there's a 1-drop over there, right?
Yeah, Tacoma Prodigy.
No, the one next to it.
Is that the one that when you lose as an attacker and have less cards in your hand, they discard a card at random?
A good move.
We really know a lot about Lion cards.
No one plays these cards.
Caravan guard.
Look, I knew what Armament Artisan did. I feel like that's bonus points for me.
Yeah,
I believe
that's pretty strong.
Oh, it's the one that unbows. Oh, it's Kiona. It's Kiona. They call it Kiona. It's the one that unbows the glory count.
Oh, okay.
So it is a 2-cost 1/2 courtier with 3 glory, and while you are more honorable than your opponent, when the glory count begins, you ready it.
Where's the favor indicator?
I believe it is Brandon's little blue thing next to his stronghold.
Honoredness.
No, never mind. It is the Honor General sitting next to Lewis's stronghold.
And in reaction to the Honor General, I shall activate
okay.
It's hard because it's an Honor General, so
it just I just glaze over. I'm like, oh, it's just more random Lion cards.
Well, if it is what the not honorable and noble Scorpion would do, then I too shall have.
We're about to see a 5-to-1 duty, and everyone in chat is going to die inside.
Well, he has. Oh wait, he has censure.
If I bid 5
Oh wait, no, Lewis doesn't have censure.
Wait, Lewis has Voice of Honor.
And we'll pass.
Indeed.
Ready?
Indeed.
Ready? 5.
1.
Oh, well then.
That's not what I expected.
1, 2, 3,
Why you gotta
4,
do that?
5. Well, you know,
That's not what I expected.
I am
think that
speechless.
You needed more honor.
You know what?
Sir, and
That is
discipline.
discipline. Discipline.
Yeah, no, I mean, Lewis has basically said, I'm giving up on my honor game plan. It's not going to work against, it was never going to work against Scorpion anyway. It's time for me to go break their stuff. I really like this, and now Brandon only drew 1 card. He literally could only draw 1 card. He gets some favor, or some honor, and that's fine. But his hand really wasn't super stellar last turn, and he didn't get to re-up with anything, with a large amount of cards this turn either.
He picks that one.
Takes Mark of Shame.
Puts the other one
It's
on
a
the
pretty
bottom.
powerful card against this board.
As
It's not bad.
people at home now have seen.
Back to you.
I would say it's a little bit disciplined on Brandon's part to not go for the 5-to-1 duty, because your opponent's Voice of Honor is on.
I'm surprised that Lewis didn't one big because he has another Regal bearing in his hand.
I will pass my first precon because
He wants to just go kill him.
Interesting.
so
I mean,
Let's see if it works out. A bold strategy.
Bold strategy.
of that quagmire that you were in. I have to
I would do Void. I would absolutely do Military Void, and I would want to get the
I
Shoju
don't
off the
have to.
board.
yeah.
I don't? But I okay. Are you sure?
I mean,
Oh, okay, so I can just no,
Lewis
I'm
has
gonna go ahead.
done a pretty good job of breaking the troublesome provinces
let's
already,
have-
right?
Yeah,
Like-
all the
like-
stuff is upholding authority, right?
Yeah,
Honor
so
General
if he
and
can
Armament
avoid the
Artisan.
upholding authority on his next attack, he will have done very well against this province route.
I feel
Agreed.
need to
Yeah.
use the Ring of Void.
You really
And we
don't.
just see Military
I
Void.
would like to know nothing.
So it is nice to do Military
And I feel
Void,
like this
and even if you
blackmail
have upholding
artist
authority, you will get rid of the
is the
Shoju.
best target.
Yes.
Because your opponent's not going to block, right?
Right.
And I'm going to be very sad because it's going to be painful because, well, you're Scorpion.
Midnight Rebels.
Ooh, Midnight
And,
Rebels
I
is
feel
very,
that
very bad
do you feel
for
that Shoju
Brandon
should
right
go
there.
party?
Oh, Shoju's in play.
Yes.
I was like, man, this
Shoju-
Honor General's going to be about, and like, oh wait, no,
Nope.
Shoju's in play.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
tempting
you run
Well, I am
Midnight
going,
Rebels
the
on
Honor
your
General
box,
doesn't
I
actually.
do.
remember.
And you play
So
Meditations.
it is a lowly 8.
Do I? I think I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's your fire province.
I mean,
Yeah, I
nine.
mean, I think Meditations is still fine, you know, like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that's really
9
easy to
force.
let break, you know, it does its job, and then it goes away.
Sure.
You know, and then now you just move on to the other provinces that actually do real things.
And the lone
Since I
caravan
play
guard.
Kachiko, and sometimes I build a board with Satori, so I just think
And
that
there's
Rebels
3.
is kind of a
You have your
liability
dice
on
on
Ro.
it.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah,
At least Meditations
I
threatens
will feign
something.
to-
Yeah, and then against Scorpion, I just put Meditations on. When I'm in the mirror, I just put Meditations on my box because the game will never get there.
Sure.
And then you put Rebels on Ro. Just to,
Sometimes
know.
you can get a nice blowout.
Yeah,
turn.
well, yeah. Sometimes you bow the Goblin Sneak that's attacking
Yeah.
you, and you don't want to have to waste an assassination on it.
I know some Scorpions are playing Minute Rebels, and then that means they're playing Into the Forbidden City on their box.
I don't. What does that do?
That is a 5-strength fire
Those of you
province
at
that
home,
has action, choose
Minute
or discard an attachment on an attacking character.
Interesting.
So I know like Kevin Ho and Shen
nice to
were
everybody
looking
at
and stuff like that. I think I was talking to Jakob about that.
Sure.
So that's
And
kind of a new
showed
tech
you-
for Scorpions.
What pack did that come out in?
pack? It came out of the cycle.
Oh, okay.
I don't know specifically what pack. Maybe
Defense
check and
with
let us
haste.
know.
Sure.
But I do know that is a fire province. It's keeper only
I'm
also.
sure he shall not
specifically.
leave it at that.
Perhaps not.
And so we
Oh,
see a
no,
big
that is
defense come
not
out here by
Scorpion
Brandon.
Way.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't want his Shoju to go away.
It's Shoju and what is the other character defending?
For shame.
For shame, sir.
Genre.
I think I would choose to dishonor.
I shall remove his honor
Yes,
token. for I do not
lose
wish
dishonor
to-
status.
I mean, he has ready for battle in his
And
hand,
that will drop
doesn't
me
he?
to 7.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't need to spew right?
only
Like,
two.
if
He's
you
not a
take
lion
another for
character?
shame, I mean, like,
Yeah,
it's
so
still
1, 2,
it's still
3,
honor
4, 5,
general.
6,
He's still
7.
pumping your
Oh,
other
I'm sorry, what
character.
favor? Oh,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you're right. Sorry.
Right,
It's
so
okay.
like,
Oh, I was
honor
wait,
general.
doesn't he only pump
I'm
line?
I'm like,
Oh, he does only
7,
pump
8.
line
I mean,
characters.
still
Yeah.
winning,
I
still
forgot.
winning.
He is honored, though.
Yes,
He
yes.
is
It's kind of
honored.
awkward bringing in an
Yes,
online
yes.
character.
I mean, you know, the aspirant or the art, whatever, the armament artisan did get honored because of honor general.
Yeah,
like,
so
it's
we're
fine.
7. So we're 7, and Scorpion's a 3, and I still don't know what this character next to Shoju is.
But I feel.
Oh, chat pointing at the noble second in his hand. Also, that's another option.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Caravan Guard. Okay. Which is a keeper.
Oh.
The keeper only 1-drop. That's a 3/2.
Yeah, and you to attack with it, you have to spend a fate. Scorpion don't care about that. They're just
want the
they're just
blocker.
buying a 3/2 blocker for 1 fate. It's
It,
great.
it also gave me Miyako.
It's actually pretty good value.
we got 30
Eric, who's Dark Eric on
I-
Discord, was talking to me a little bit about it yesterday. It seems like I don't think it's like a banana pick or anything like that.
No, no,
It's
no.
just it's like it's like buying a Haruma Yojimbo, you know, just for one.
Yeah, except Hiruma Yojimbo has 2 glory.
Sure.
As I found out in draft. As it turns out, Hiruma Yojimbo was not played for a big reason. So we do see an assassination.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Brandon's
I know,
hand.
I know.
We might see an assassination on this artisan.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and I will spend 1, and I shall bring in the Akoma reservist.
All right.
What a
Who
reservist.
So
is
reservist
mine,
adds +2
so she will get
because of the honor general.
putting me to 9.
Yep. And then don't forget that he still has echoes in his hand.
Yeah, his voice of honor is off. Actually, that is removing the honor status token from the for shame actually turns off your voice of honor,
That's true.
which is a big deal.
I mean, he could just echoes in another honor general and turn it back on.
Sure. We do see Fate Worse Than Nothing Brandon's hand.
And he does have 4 fate to play it. But if that's
I will.
This, oh man,
He's
this mark of shame is just gonna get eaten by Soul Beyond Reproach if he does it.
Yeah.
So let's see if Brandon can sniff it out.
Oh, he could be eyeing the Miyako to overlay on top of Caravan Guard. I'm not,
Yep. That does take you out of Fate Worse Than Nothing
That's
range.
good. I will go ahead and claim the Void Ring. And of
So he
course,
doesn't
I
break.
believe that Shoju should
But he's
be-
getting rid of Soju.
Shoju. Yep.
Yeah.
With my knowledge
This
of
is
nothing, I feel
probably
that Shoju
fine.
needs to-
I think I might have played
Number
some
10.
military cards there to break if I was Lewis.
That sounds
Just
good.
provide more pressure.
Yeah, because he didn't Fate his honor general.
I think it's just
will
he's
cast
at 3
my
fate,
conflict.
and I think he wants to try and not over.
Well, he had like 0 pumps to like get away the lion.
Oh, okay. Oh wait, he had away the lion hand.
I believe
Yellow
so.
by Artist is coming.
Yeah,
political
I may have
Earth
just played a card
at
there
the
just
Space
to
Town
keep going for it.
Survey says, before the throne.
Oh gosh.
And I will go ahead and activate my.
So before the throne is an air province that has interrupt when this province is broken. You steal 2 honor, or steal 2 honor from your opponent.
Yeah,
Defending
yeah.
with Prodigy is my best bet.
It's really easy to farm.
Not to
Yes, I mean, this
Unfortunate.
this province will never be broken this entire game. Well, actually, wait, that's not true. Scorpion needs to race, right?
So it is my 2.
They don't have to break this province,
2
though.
or 2.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. But they just want to go back to shameful? That sounds miserable.
You're not wrong.
And I shall.
I'm at 3.
Oh, you're at 3. Yes, yes. Indeed.
Yeah, there's the way of the line.
Yeah, I think I probably just would have thrown that at the conflict. It's like really low cost to do that. You know,
Let's
you're
go
not really
ahead
losing a whole lot.
and,
And you're just putting a lot more pressure on your opponent to try and spin fate.
Like if you, like you said, you get that military break every turn.
Yeah.
you have claimed Earth.
You just
sir.
force your opponent to do
Always
stuff.
on the
Yeah.
So we have the Earth Ring being claimed by the Alibi Artist.
Takes and echoes. That is kind of a bummer.
Good.
It's a good hit, sir.
Pre-conflict before your second conflict, to you.
Oh, he did defend.
shall-
Interesting.
I'm not super sure what that defense is all about.
While you're thinking, do you mind if I have a look at your conflict discard?
Oh, yes. By all means.
Thank you. I have all of the information I need.
So it's 1-to-1. Yeah, I'll pass pre-conflict.
Yeah, like preventing an opposed doesn't really do anything. He had enough honor that it wasn't
for my
going to be a
conflicts?
big deal.
You'll
Yeah.
pass, I will do one of these.
Okay,
And with
so
that-
we do see Miyako coming out.
Yep.
I will dishonor. This is Como Prodigy. Miyako was secretly my caravan guard.
I do like the
Caravan guard
disguise.
all
I honestly say that all the time. It was secretly this
yeah.
all the time. It's just like a really funny mechanic.
Yeah.
All right,
Military
so we're
at
going
the
for air
shameful
here.
display.
So maybe the dishonor plan is back on the menu.
I mean, with that 5-bid from Lewis, right?
Yeah.
I think if you're going to 5-bid, you have to play more
I have
aggressively
to
for the
defend
break,
this.
right? So like the
You have to take advantage of the turn that you are up on in resources.
yeah, so like
What an
Lewis kind of has
He'll
like
keep his oath.
his play style is at odds with himself right now because if he was gonna go through with this bid 5 plan, then he needed to be far more aggressive on his last military
Just going
attack.
there
So
thinking that I'm thinking
a little bit
against
awkward,
me.
I would say.
I, sir, have not been pants.
So we do see Shameful being activated.
Yep.
See, however,
Brandon just is attacking it.
And Voice of Honor is back on.
Yep.
For Lewis.
I have to insist.
So he's gonna attempt to assassinate.
We're gonna see a Voice of Honor here.
And we'll see. Yeah, we should. I mean, just play the card. It's okay. I believe in you.
Your honor characters are gonna go away. You really should.
You make a mistake. Okay. I will go ahead and gain an honor from my honor person.
Is somebody honored is someone else honored on Brandon's side that we can't see?
However, I do feel that my armament artisan may need to put Miyako.
I can't really tell on Brandon's side of the board what his tokens are. Oh, apparently
He
Chad
may, in
Singh both
fact,
have 2
not be
honored,
wrong.
so maybe the Alibi Artist is honored? I know Shoju is honored from the core game.
This is the. I mean, people love using their own little tokens for honor, but sometimes it makes like board states unclear because I don't know what your token is. You know,
yeah,
that's
like
signifying a thing.
Lewis is a really nice and easy to see,
I'll
right?
gain an
They're
honor
white and black.
Because I threw Miyako under a bridge.
Indeed.
So
It'll be on military. I'll gain 2 honor and go to 5.
Yeah.
All right, so it looks like we're going into the next turn. Text over.
I think that this game will get a lot more reasonable with the bids after some excitement last turn.
Yes.
Oh, I was rushing for nothing. Fuck. Ready?
1.
Oh, 2. Okay.
Regal Bearing is now on.
Regal Bearing is now on.
Draw 1 card. I mean, the problem is with Regal Bearing is matchups like this where the bids get dropped so quickly.
Sure.
It quickly loses its ability to be played.
Right, and you know, we see that a lot in Crane where the duels set
Really
dials
mess you up, yeah.
to 1, and you know, very quickly your Regal Bearing just starts collecting dust in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Lewis has 2 Way the Lions in his hand. So outside of Fate Worse Than Death and Assassination, there's not a whole lot that Brandon would be able to do against just a Berserker that gets Way the Lion twice, right?
Yeah.
In that respect, you may see a 1-drop get a Fate Worse Than Death, right? If
Look,
that's
you gotta do what you gotta do.
If that's your only way to avoid the break, right? I really don't see that. I really don't think we'll see another Assassination played by Brandon.
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Wait,
and
he doesn't have any,
approaches.
right? Like he's played his 2 that he
My
had in his
first
hand.
action will be to activate the Shameful Display. I'll honor this
Sure,
card
I just don't know
and
if
move
he
this onto
plays
the
a
one
third
with
one.
No, I don't see one in his hand is what I was saying.
Okay.
Yeah, well, the one with no fate.
Okay.
So attack Shameful Display again.
Yeah, he's gonna leave soon.
But he's attacking with both of the liars,
Alright,
so
yeah,
I guess
no,
he
you're
just
not
wants
right.
to win.
I mean, it's not like it hurts your stats.
So 6 to 5 right now.
Well, no, I mean, Brandon does need to start
well,
applying
well,
province
well,
pressure,
it was down
right?
low.
Like he needs to
Yeah.
start attacking from both angles.
You don't think you can just straight up dishonor?
I mean, I would want both, right? I mean, with Liars and against Lion, most of the time, I should have the ability to pressure their provinces.
So
I just want to attack
What
from
if
both
those-
angles.
So we see a a Way of the Scorpion gets Voice of Honored.
I don't have a Pokemon.
I don't like that. I think you just let it happen and you try and honor something down the road. You know
fair.
what I mean? Even if your counterspells just stick in your hand, it's better to have the potential to turn them on to protect yourself from a Fate Worse Than Death than like burn it on a Way of the Scorpion that seems somewhat inconsequential. Plus, like, doesn't Lewis still just have Soulbound Reproach in his hand?
So is Brandon.
Sure, I'm just saying, like, if you cared about this honor token, there's ways to put honor tokens
You know what?
back on the
What?
table.
Sure.
I definitely would not spend a cancel for
I don't
that.
know.
Yeah, really. Yeah, let's. Yeah, let's go ahead and do 1 and play Soul Beyond Reproach on this Prodigy.
Oh my gosh. 6 to 6.
I'm a little good at 2 shoes.
Wow. Well, what if, though?
What if one of them wasn't as honorable?
What if one of them wasn't as honorable? 6 to 5.
We're just seeing a lot of cards being thrown into this conflict.
I'll pass.
For a fire.
I'm surprised Brandon played that court games when he was winning 6-6.
I'm not really too sure. Yeah, you know, like it.
But what if actually neither of them was honorable?
I mean, I guess, but couldn't you have just played the Mark of Shame without playing court games and still been in the same position?
No, I don't. I think you're then it's 6-4. No, 6-3.
So that
Yeah,
drops me to
you didn't need to play the court games.
Yeah, you absolutely do not need to play the court
Winning and
games.
breaking it.
Because of the -1 Paul on Mark of Shame.
Exactly.
I think I've attacked that shameful display like 12 times. I'm doing so bad.
So it's currently 6-2.
Okay.
But if I spent 1, and I suggested that
Blue
the
Key in
Coma
chat
Prodigy
saying
was
Lewis is
prepared
the
for
real
4.
champion of Yomi. I love it.
All right, what is this
She
card?
will be honored by the
So,
commander
to
token.
be fair,
It is it's
I don't
what's it called?
know.
Prepare for
I
War.
don't know if she is prepared.
So
well, okay, you'd be at
Prepare for
4.
War costs 1. It's an event. You choose
I
an
think the
attachment.
Emperor doesn't think that she is prepared for war.
Okay,
Alright.
we're gonna censure.
Okay.
Prepare for War. Let him discard the
It's
Mark of
totally
Shame
not
and the honor status token.
Yeah.
Dishonor status
You're
token.
actually-
So that would be a bump of 2.
Yep.
But secretly, this Bayushi was incredibly honorable the whole time.
Whatever. I mean, I guess he's turning on voice here. No, he's setting up a noble sack.
You want to flip the token
On
over?
what though?
I assume it resolves.
He wants-
It's not such a-
No.
Are you just noble sacking
This
this
favor, so I
this
Yeah.
Matsu Berserker at home?
It's not dishonored yet.
He'll dishonor with the firing.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I think so.
Is that the reason? Okay.
Yeah.
Do we get extra
That's
tickets
his
for
method of
having
avoiding
the
having to play a fate worse than death on the Matsu
Right.
Berserker.
Sure.
Seems like it works.
I call opinions on that.
Seconded?
Look, I'm not too proud. I will favor Sin with the Matsu
Take it back.
Berserker.
Yeah.
So you're at 6 to my 2.
I think Lewis is just going to take a break here. I think he's out of Soul Beyond Reproach.
Did you see my-
His
Yeah, it
hand-
looks like both players have played both their Soul Beyond Reproaches. Brandon's hand is actually down to like 4 cards. It's 2 fate worse than deaths, and then duty.
Okay, let's go
And something
ahead
else.
and
Yeah. Well, he's going to draw a card. Well, he'll draw 1 card because the other liar's faded.
Yep.
I will attempt to
we
for
do-
games to bring my prodigy back up.
We do see the timer kind of running down a little bit, though, on this game. This is definitely the longest game, I think, that we've had so
Yeah, I think we
far.
made a mistake. We needed to get more unicorns.
Yeah. I was assuming that a line game would be fast. That was the whole point. But, like, this is actually kind of a...
The game's just really grindy, right? Both
Yeah,
players
yeah.
are kind of... Okay, so Brandon's hand is fate worse enough, noble sack, duty, backhand, and compliment.
And what
So
shall you do
it's not a
with
very
fire?
powerful...
Well,
I
fire
mean,
is
like, fate worse enough is
Oh,
really
I got
strong,
it.
but like the
First
rest
you
of those
went
cards
to
are like
choose if
almost
you
utility
start
cards.
Yeah,
Surprisingly, I think I
a
will.
Fate Worse Than Death doesn't really shine in this style of matchup because this is he's playing against a wide opponent, not a tall one, you know.
Correct.
And so a Fate Worse Than Death even is a bit low impact here.
Yeah, agreed. And so the firing is going to... Interesting. He dishonors the
Such shame.
Coma Prodigy. And so then why do you Soul Beyond Reproach your Bayushi Liar?
I don't know.
Okay.
What you got?
Let's send the Berserker
Oh my gosh.
on a military.
Oh my gosh.
Trip to the Midnight Rebels.
Yep,
Oh, no.
going back to Midnight Revels.
And then back in your token.
Hopefully he can see
Could buy
his
one of
way
my super
through
wishes.
to breaking this
Or
province.
the Collector. I mean, the Collector is also a fair target for that.
That's true. That's true. I think pass.
So he doesn't have any conflict characters, I don't believe.
On the Rebels.
Lewis,
On the
and he doesn't have any chart. I don't think he has any way of putting more characters into this battle, right? So if the Berserker dies in any of number of ways that it could, Lewis may not have another opportunity this turn to try and break the
Collector.
Rebels.
Defends it 2.
Bringing me to 2.
Gomch asking why I didn't use this box. The lion box is only on
You're taking my
attacking.
2.
Indeed.
You are winning.
So could not use this box because that would be an illegal play.
Also, Champions of Yomi only work on attack
Only
as
works
well.
on attacking. Yep.
I think that I need a Way of the Lion.
A way of the line you have.
And that should put me to 6.
Now,
in
an
which case I'm
unfortunate
now
part,
breaking.
so should the Matsu Berserker leave
It's
the
probably not gonna
conflict
stay
in
that
some
way.
You
way,
also cannot trigger your
you
box.
also cannot trigger the box because you need a participating character.
Yeah.
And we do, I mean, we do see a Fate Worse Than Death on 1-cost character. Like, this happens, right? You know?
Well, it does lose a fate, so you're trading 4 for 2.
Yes.
It's not that bad. I mean, it feels bad, right?
Right.
But
It-
that was the play. You traded 4 for 2 and
And
two
you
card-
saved a province.
and a card, right?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
saved a province.
Well, and it ate away the line, basically, also, you know? So, I mean, that's enough value, I would say. I just don't think that there's anything that Lewis can do now. Yeah, he's Lewis is going to be passing for the rest of the turn.
And pre-con pass.
I also pass.
Yeah, you have to have one of your characters lose the conflict, and so if no one's there, they technically didn't lose.
Right.
You lost.
You lost,
They
but the
didn't.
characters did.
Five.
Is that also how Champions of Yomi works?
I believe so.
I'm going to look that up.
I believe it's the same wording, specifically because of the interactions with the box.
Sure.
That 3 is going military after upholding the authority.
And so it looks like we have a military void
Winning and breaking.
I pass.
Me too.
going to
I
void
lose
off
one
the
for not
Sakoma
defending.
Prodigy, it
Win
looks
and
like.
Yeah.
I think I
Win
would have
and
gone
break.
for Earth
Man, oh man.
Discard or keep.
or Air.
Earth all day.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Earth all day.
I love
with,
the
with,
Earth
with the hand that if I'm Brandon, I'm looking at my hand. I'm like, I need to draw more cards immediately.
I really like the Earth thing a lot.
Second, worse than death.
Oh, so it was upholding authority that was broken, right? Yep. So I think we're going to see the duty get taken here, probably.
Yeah, I guess you have to, because then your bids are going to be wonky. Because your opponent's at 4, and you always have to respect the 5 to 1.
Yeah. So like, if you just get rid of duty now, you can just keep slamming 5 or 1, whatever you want. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that Lewis should probably. I mean, he's at what, 10 honor?
Looks like it. Yep.
This is a reasonable place to bid 5 again.
Looks like chat is saying that the audio is robot. So I've always wanted to do the robot.
I now lost one.
And then
It's like a SpongeBob.
Beep beep
Yeah.
beep beep boop boop. All right, a nice clean board though, right? That's nice.
We have this lone Bayushi liar just chilling.
Yeah.
Lewis becomes first player.
On military.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
I forgot I had this.
Put me to 10.
So we're kind of seeing the fruits of that 1-5 to 1 turn where Lewis didn't push his cards advantage, where the Scorpion player has been able to basically trade efficiently with their fewer cards and kind of even out the cards.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he's now on Lewis's box. You know, Lion Provinces do break pretty easily in the Scorpion matchup.
Well, as it turns out, Scorpion didn't flip any characters to break
I'll go
the
1 and
Stronghold
1.
Province.
Did you come a project again?
No, there's a True Seeker.
Yeah, I guess Truth Seeker Host Liar can break, right? No, right?
I don't know. So Chad is saying that it's dishonorable assault
3 and
under
2.
box.
Most likely.
You know, so I mean, Lewis is definitely not under any pressure right now.
Kyuden Koma has 2 Province Strength, I believe.
Sure.
Well, most of the new ones end up with 1, but I believe this one has
I too shall pass.
or at least Kyuden Kakita and Kyuden.
Yep.
Actually, Kyuden Baishi had 2. Yeah.
No, it's a 1.
Oh, it's a 1. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So Kyuden Nakoma, Kyuden Kakita, and Kyuden Nasawa have 1. Kyuden Bayushi does have 2.
Sure.
And I believe Kyuden Nikita has
It's like
2.
I gotta go the right direction on that. Puts me up to 9.
What is that promo that Lewis bought?
It's Kitsu Spirit Color.
Okay. Oh, that's great.
Conflict to you.
Kitsu Spirit Color is very powerful.
Yeah.
Myself as well.
Let's send the Akoma Prodigy. We'll go.
Yeah, the only thing that's a little bit awkward about Spirit Caller here is he didn't get any other low drops. So if he attempts to tack in with Spirit Caller in the hopes of using its activation,
Fate Worse
he
Than
will
Death.
get immediately Fate Worse Than Death.
And
yes.
he knows he has the Fate Worse Than Death.
Yeah, I mean, he's seen it. He knows.
What did he discard? He did discard the duty? Or do you know, what did he discard with the Upholding Authority?
Chat, what
I
happened?
think we missed that one.
Yeah, we were dealing with some technical issues.
Midnight Rebels.
Sounds good.
So does military air at Midnight Rivals? Okay. This is really important.
Yes.
Let's bow the Spirit Caller.
He discarded a Fate. The chat's saying that he discarded a Fate Worse Than Death.
Okay.
I'll defend with the Zeppelin.
So we see him. Lewis attacks Midnight Rivals, attempts to bow Spirit Caller, and then we see ready for battle, readies the Spirit Caller.
Yes. I think that Ready for Battle has been in his hand this entire game.
Yes. Cashed it in though. We see a Censure drawn though, really strong.
Did both players just bid 1?
It
looks that
like
way.
It,
Yeah.
No, I think
That sounds
Brandon has less honor. He had like 5. But Lewis also only has 9 now.
All right, so
We're spirit calling.
we're spirit calling.
Just spirit caller champions, if you know me.
I would just get the biggest thing. I think you're trying to. I think that this is a little greedy, right? You're trying to turn off extra attacks or something like that. Like I think you just get the biggest thing you possibly can.
Indeed.
And just get this break.
And just get this break,
Yeah.
right? This liar is not going to be killing you this turn, you know.
We are getting close to time, though. We do have Way of the Scorpion coming out.
Yep. But we only have 7 minutes left on the round. Lewis does need to get one more break to be up on tiebreakers because he will remain more honorable this entire game.
I believe so, yes.
Yes. So as long as he can get a third break here, he will have the tiebreakers necessary to win at time. Otherwise, Brandon will be able to eke this one out.
I'm still not sure what this card is behind this Way of the Lion. It's a card from the Lion pack, I think, and it just.
I have the internet.
Okay, excellent. let's look for pictures here.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a Way of the Lion on this LPB.
Honor in Battle is a zero-cost event. Action: if you claim the military ring, choose a character, honor that character.
Okay. We now know what this card is?
We know what this card
I'll
is.
go ahead and get a free Champions of Yomi.
That sounds like a plan.
Okay, so Lewis does not win the conflict, but then he uses his box to get Champions of Yomi.
Sure.
But Brandon gets Keeper of Air Fate and then 2 Keeper Initiates.
That's rough.
So I think if this was the plan, Lewis was supposed to do Earth Ring.
Yes.
Okay.
Not the ring where he gets keepers and fate for winning.
It kind of
Me too.
defeats the purpose of your LPB.
Sure, because you just gave them characters back.
Right,
You
and
know,
you were
and
trying
you were
to
trying
turn
to
off
shut them
attacks.
off. Yeah,
Yeah.
he should have just got the big character and tried to win.
Your conflict?
Yeah.
I always say I don't try and play favorites while on cast, but I'm definitely playing favorites towards Lewis.
Yeah, I
in
would
this
have. I
game.
would definitely want. I think Lewis started the game out really well, and he's playing a cool deck, right?
Yeah.
No, it's Brandon. He's just playing a deck we've seen since the beginning of the game, basically. And so, like,
it's not that we don't like him.
we just want to see these cool new Lion cards,
Yeah.
right?
One.
Well, if Lions keep winning, then we get to keep casting them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Discard Regal Bearing to
He cannot play Regal Bearing.
Bad Monkey.
Champions of Yomi is not a courtier.
Down to 1. Draw a card.
Oh, dishonorable assault.
Dishonor the guy.
Oh, he just discarded it. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Soul beyond reproach. Let's get to 4, which is winning but not breaking.
Does it go through?
Yes.
So I don't believe Lewis blocked.
Attempt to play for Bears Echoes.
Censure.
And I think Brandon has a bonsai here.
Bonsai.
Well, and I think that's going to be it.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I mean, giving him those keeper initiates is 100% what killed Lewis here.
Yeah, Brandon doesn't have a character.
Yeah.
All he had to do was do the Earth Ring here,
Sir of 1.
Yep.
and that'll be it.
Shit, man.
That's unfortunate. Good game. Well played by Brandon to kind of get this game finished out. I think if Lewis had made just a few
Yes.
different decisions
The banter
at some key points
was
while
so
attacking the
good.
third
The banter was
province,
so
he might have
good.
been able to get on box and take this game in kind of a
was
different
so
direction,
good.
right? So
I got so greedy
historically,
on the first round. I had the assassinate. I should have
even
just
in
kept it
previous
and killed your
iterations
dude.
of this
When
game,
you ended
honor
that,
versus
you broke it,
dishonor is
and
always a
I'm
very
like, well,
grindy matchup that takes a
that's
very
the
long
game.
time
For
because
sure.
you're both
There was a
operating
turn I
on
had
different
an
spectrums
honor in
of what you're
battle,
trying to do,
and I
right?
didn't play it. I actually had an honor in battle.
The game did end the way that I thought it would, which was having a stronghold, game end via stronghold break.
Yeah,
right?
You're just not going to dishonor, right? Like it's just too much starting honor, and the game plan was not conducive to dishonoring them out.
Sure.
I actually like using the stronghold to buff my. Like I'll use this this matchup.
Yeah.
I'll use the stronghold to gain honor, and then I'll back in and compliment myself.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like you just cycle the back in
yeah.
and compliments because you're not gonna. They're just sitting in your hand otherwise.
Right.
And like like if you don't need to take an honor away at them, right? Like you just use it to bolster yourself.
Yeah, you don't want them drawing cards.
Yeah, exactly.
So fun matchup there. I think we're actually going to be able to find another Lion for next round. Probably not something that's so focused on honor. A little kind of a bummer that we didn't get to see the true honor game plan really shine through. But when you're playing against City of the Open Hand, you just have to change your tactics,
for sure.
right? And then it is possible that maybe Lewis does not have enough experience pushing for breaks with that deck. I'll have to talk with him and see kind of how he feels about the middle to end part of that game. But thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back in about I want to say 15 minutes. Is for the lunch.
Oh, we have lunch. Yep. So we'll be back in about an hour.
Yep. So be back here in an hour. We'll have round 3 up and most likely another cute Nakoma deck, so we can continue to see these cool new cards that came out of the pack. Absolutely. All right. Rock on. Thank you.